are a couple of the smallest schools in Central Ohio, but they may have the biggest hearts. What a showdown we have in the Mid-State League tonight as Fisher Catholic takes on Worthington Christian. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. I'm Randy Reinhardt, alongside the football professor, Jeff Logan. And Jeff, tiny schools, but it should be entertaining tonight.
Yeah, it really will be, Randy. These are two teams that care a whole lot about playing at a high level, and even though they have limited roster sizes at Division VI, they really want to go out there and compete. And so I'm really excited about this game tonight.
You talk about limited roster size. Fisher Catholic dresses only 22 players. They're 0-2 on the season. Their head coach is Luke Timmis in his first year, but 17 years as an assistant at Fisher Catholic before that. They've got a guy that probably won't leave the field tonight. He's a running back and a linebacker. His name is Jack Tenza.
Well, Jack Tenza, a really good football player, and he could play at any level as far as high school football is concerned. And, Randy, this is a team that has only scored 7 points in their first 2 ball games. They've got to be able to run the ball at a very high level, and Jack Tenza's got to be that guy to carry this football team.
They lost to Grove City Christian last week, 14-7. On the other side, it is Worthington Christian. This is a team that's 2-0. Their head coach, Jeff Harding's in year number 4, our former Super Bowl champ with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Done a great job with this program. And he's got a guy at quarterback. Jeff, he is just a freshman with unbelievable numbers. His name is Hobie Rakes.
Would you trust your keys to the Corvette?
No.
To a freshman? Well, coach believes this kid can run this football team, and he's really done it very well here in the first 2 weeks. They've been able to score at a high level. 6 touchdown passes for Hobie Rakes already this season.
Can't drive a car, but he can drive the team down the field. Last week, they got by Miller 31-0. In this series, Worthington Christian has taken 4 of 6. Jeff, are you ready?
Let's go rock and roll.
Are you ready? Tiny schools, big hearts. Up next in this one, it is Fisher Catholic and Worthington Christian in one place here on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Founders Field. Time now to meet the third member of our broadcast team. To the sidelines we go, and Mike Todd.
Well, Randy, Fisher Catholic's defense only gave up 14 points last week. That's an improvement from week 1, where they gave up 44 points. But they are going up against a Worthington Christian offense that is averaging 37 points a game. But as always, gentlemen, it's a beautiful night for high school football.
That was touching, Mike. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This should be a lot of fun tonight. Great weather for this contest, as you mentioned. And by the way, Worthington Christian won the toss, and they will receive on your left. So, again, we talked about the different routes to get this contest. The one thing I will say for Luke Timmis and his crew, by the way, and Luke was a great football player at Fisher Catholic in the past, too, is he's seen massive improvement from week 1 to week 2 from his squad. And, again, looking for an identity. Can you imagine having just 22 kids on your roster, and you lost 13 from your senior class last year, and trying to build a team when you got, in essence, Jeff, at least 22 starting positions, excluding special teams?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Timmis before the football game, Randy, and I asked him about practice. I mean, how do you practice with 20 guys on your roster? And he said it's a bunch of half lines, which basically is using the right side of the offense against the left side of the defense, trying to get that kind of activity. The other thing that's been a challenge, quite frankly, Randy, is that they haven't had a youth program in their area to develop some of these young kids. So when high school football comes around, many of these kids are playing football, organized football, for the very first time. So teaching the fundamentals, the basic fundamentals of the game, has to occur at this level. And Luke Timmis deserves a lot of credit for the patience in building this program.
And tonight's kickoff is sponsored by Ohio University. Your path to success guaranteed from Ohio University. Teed up now, the person of number 7, J.J. Vio. And here we go. Week number 3 of high school football action on the CW Columbus. The return starts from the 10. There's a gap up across the 20, 25, and up to the 26-yard line. So a nice return for the Warriors to start their first drive in this contest, and the return by Jaden Reynolds. We'll check out that Worthington Christian Warrior offense. And we mentioned just a freshman at quarterback in Hobie Rakes, 5'9", 153. And already that guy has thrown for over 300 yards, number 5 on your screen, 6 touchdowns. And most impressive there is the last category, Jeff. No interceptions in the first 2 weeks.
Now look at the efficiency there, and there you see his rushing, 13 carries for 44 yards. That is not his primary purpose in this offense. It's throwing the football.
First and 10 from the 26-yard line now for Rakes and company, with one back in the backfield. And he will keep it on the first down play. He heard you. Look what I can do. Got it up to around the 27-yard line. Good stop that time by the interior of that Fisher Catholic defense. Head coach Luke Timmis handles that. Ron Severance in his second year as the offensive coordinator for Jeff Hardings. And Elijah Alt will get a start tonight at wide receiver. And we mentioned in the backfield, the quarterback ranks. Watch Jaden Reynolds, too. He returned that kick. He's got some talent as well, too. Ethan Albert will see a lot of the running tonight in this game and some experience up front, too. When you look at Zach Hoheisel at left tackle, and also you can see that they've got some good size, too, with the likes of Blake Kessler and Jeb Burford, who's also a 3-year starter. They pick up a couple on the play. We'll call it officially 2nd down and 7 from just past the 28-yard line. Rakes the quick pop. He has his man, the aforementioned Reynolds. Dances inside, outside, and now gets a block and finds that opening up the sidelines across midfield and drugged down and knocked out of bounds. Almost drugged down, but knocked out at the 30-yard line. Pursued on the play by Jack Carpenter to prevent a touchdown.
Well, they love the idea of getting Jaden Reynolds open in space where they can get him the ball. And this is designed to go right inside, get him there, be able to make somebody miss. Whoop! There we go, and he's up the sidelines. Big gain early in the game, and Jaden Reynolds, you just mentioned, Randy, an exciting football player.
He's got it again after a 43-yard gain, 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. We'll take it inside the 20 and get knocked out of bounds, set around the 18, but that should be enough for another first down. He'll pick up about 11 on the play as they motor down the field. Here's your Spark Columbus Fit City Challenge starting lineups. Get up and get active. You can register now at sparkcolumbus.com. And there are the starting lineups there. Priest has got some good size up front there. Waylon Yeager is the brother of the quarterback for the Irish. And Colton Yeager will start in the secondary. Tenza, we mentioned, is a guy who will play on both sides, as will Kavanaugh Frank, a linebacker. And this time they try to run it, and nothing there. That defense just shuts it down right at the line of scrimmage. Good tag team tackle there by a couple of the Irish. You can see big number 77 and number 50 on the screen helping to make the hit. That'd be Waylon Yeager and Anthony Priest.
Look at that, just combined right there. There would be some of those plays where they really don't block any of those linemen. They're hoping that they will go with the flow. So when you see somebody wide open like that, what the defense needs to do is they need to make sure that they're reading the quarterback and see where that ball is going to go, not necessarily where that lineman is lined up against him.
The one thing that Coach Hardings always preaches is relentless effort. He wants to see alignment, assignment, and technique. The process is the product. They lose a couple on that play. Call it 2nd down and a baker's dozen. Showing blitz with one of the linebackers. And they're coming. And we got a flag on the play before we start this. We'll see if we have a false start. And I think we do. Our referee is the legendary Bruce Maurer tonight. I can tell you what he said was dead ball, false start on the offense. Bruce is a guy, ladies and gentlemen, that has officiated on this level, the college and the NFL. And we've got a husband and wife team as well, too, on this crew. And Chris and Christine Cordy. Chris played football at DeSales back in the glory days, I believe, when they had the offensive line of Cruiser, Kistner, and Cordy. Chris was part of that as well, too. His dad was a great supporter of high school athletics as well, too. So going to move it back an additional 5 yards with that penalty. They need 18 now as we play just about 2.5 of this first quarter. On 2nd down, Rakes wants to throw. And guns it downfield, has his man, and the pass is caught for the touchdown. Hauled in by Amspaugh. Terrell makes the catch, and he's got the touchdown. And there you go. Congratulations. That's another Ramos Roofing touchdown for a free estimate on your roof. Texter call 614-761-ROOF. As for Amspaugh, that's his 4th catch on the season now.
Oh, good job just running the seam here, and the quarterback showing his quality here. Hobie Rakes, we talked about him. This is touchdown pass number 7 here in 2 games, plus the beginning of this game. And Corell Amspaugh had 3 catches already this season, averaging 21.7 per catch.
Grant Woodfin, who's a soccer kid as well, too, puts up the extra point. It is good. He's now 11 of 14 on extra points, and with 9:18 left to go in the first at Founders Field, Worthington Christian on top of Fisher Catholic 7-0. This is Hottest Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. Don't miss the biggest plays for the biggest high school games in Central Ohio. Join Fox 28's Clay Hall for First Scores on Fox 28 tomorrow night at 10:45, sponsored by Spectrum. There's a rapid move down the field by the Warriors to get the first score in this contest, as Grant Woodfin will stay on the field to kick it off. And he does kickoffs and field goals and extra points, and there's the boot. And that will be a touchback, so we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. That time shows his range. In fact, this is a guy that could probably go 45 yards on a field goal. Time now to check at your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. And there you go, 5 plays, 74 yards. Usurped 2:36 off the clock. And the touchdown pass, it goes to Amsboff, some 26 yards from Rakes for the first score.
It shouldn't surprise you with Worthington Christian. Mike Todd talked about their offensive prowess in their first game against Grove City Christian. They win 42-7. And last week against Miller, they go 31-0 in that game.
What a pleasure it was to talk to Jeff Hardings, too, a guy that obviously went to St. Henry and matriculated to Penn State after that as well, too. As you look at the numbers on Colton Yeager, what he's done so far this season. Again, the passing game they've been working on the first 2 weeks, trying to get that ironed out. But also a guy with his frame at 6'3" and 175 that can carry the football. So 1st and 10 for the first offensive possession for the Irish in this game. And Yeager rolling, wants to throw, and slings it downfield, and the pass underthrown on the play, intended for Alex Smith with coverage by Jaden Reynolds.
Boy, Colton Yeager came out of there with an opportunity maybe to tuck and run.
Once again, your Spark Columbus starting lineups as you take a look at those. And you'll see youth on the outside. Simon Messerly, just a freshman, as the split end there. And Alex Smith is a guy on the other end as the wingback who's a 4-year starter. We talked about Jack Tenza in the open as well, too. He'll have to have a big game tonight. And Jack Carpenter is a guy that plays the wing. He's got 25 yards rushing, and Jack has accounted for the lone touchdown on the season for Fisher Catholic. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Tenza. Tries to find a gap. He'll pick up a couple on the play. Jeff will set up a 3rd down and long now for the Irish.
No.
So we check out the defense. Head coach Jeff Hardings will handle that. And you got Hoheisel and Foreman and Burford up front, and Garner and Corral and Zartman and Albert, and the secondary of Lassender, Reynolds, White, and Hobie Rakes called into duty to play on both sides. So you got a quarterback who's also a defensive back on both sides in this contest.
Well, at this level, Randy, a lot of guys playing both ways, offense and defense. Get your best athletes on the field. Speaking of the future of this program, Fisher Catholic's offensive line, all juniors that are starting up there, Randy. So that bodes well for them as they get the experience this year.
3rd down and 7 with one man in motion. And actually, I think we might have more than one man in motion on this play. We'll see what we've got. Bruce Mauer's going to open his mic. And we still don't hear Bruce, so it's a false start. Move it back 5, so it was less than 10. Now they're going to need a dozen. And again, high school football this year, the officials do not touch the ball. They have a beanbag, an orange beanbag that they use to place the ball at the end of the play. The running back, wide receiver, quarterback will stick it into the belly of the center, and then he'll bring it up to where the beanbag is to snap the football. There's the beanbag right there, thrusting inside the 20-yard line, and that's where the center then will come up, and you'll see that Kavanaugh Frank, and yes, that is the order of his names, 6'1", 186, and a junior, was a running back who moved to the line because of need, and they feel he's a great natural leader and a very smart football player. So 3rd down, they need a dozen. 4 minutes in, the toss sweep, trying to turn the corner. They'll string it out. Great job by that defense, and nothing there.
Ball's loose, and it rolled out of bounds, looks like.
That time they tried to get Alex Smith to the outside, and that defense just flowed, Jeff, perfectly to the football.
Yeah, how about, you mentioned Kavanaugh Frank, who's that starting center wearing that number 54, former running back, cornerback. I mean, my goodness, if I'd have gotten to him, Randy, if you were a running back and the coaches start showing you 50 and 60 jerseys to wear, run away. don't let him move you up on that offensive line.
Josh Carroll helped to string out that play. Punting situation now for Colton Yeager. The quarterback will stay in there and punt from inside his own 10-yard line. Twin safeties back deep. Nearest to us is Reynolds. It is high, and it's not going to cross midfield. Oh, they'll run up and try to catch it at the 37-yard line. A dangerous job, but the ball is corralled there. Nicely done by number 13. That's Ethan Albert. Time now to check out our Honda keys of the game. Perfect Tenza. Goes back to what we talked about. Jack Tenza's going to have to play well for the Irish tonight. And also slow down. They want to make this a ball control, running kind of game if they can for Fisher Catholic. On the other side for Worthington Christian, Reynolds wrapped. Talked about Jaden Reynolds. He would have to make some big plays in this contest, and already he's done that. And then mix it up. Don't go with just a running game. Show your versatility and show the number of different talented student athletes you have here at Worthington Christian. On a short field, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 37 of the Irish. Albert's got it, glides into that hole nicely, and Ethan's going to push the pile inside the 33 to near the 32-yard line. Worthington Christian, a team that averages, Jeff, 340.5 yards total offense so far, 160.5 rushing, 180 passing, so you can't ask for better balance early in a campaign like you're seeing from the Warriors.
Ethan Albert, a transfer student from Big Walnut, so far this season averaging 6.1 per carry. Again, a pass-oriented offense, Randy, but they really want to try and be balanced offensively.
Reynolds goes wide at the top of the set. That's Lassiter to the bottom on a second down play after picking up 4 on first down. Rakes will keep it on the gun and try to turn it outside, and he does inside the 26 to the 25-yard line before he was brought down. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I had the voice of a soprano as a freshman. I don't know how you can bark out signals as a quarterback as a freshman, but that young man can do it.
Well, he takes command of this football team, and, you know, the leadership of a young man that's, 14, 15 years old as a freshman in high school. I don't care at what level. Stepping into that huddle as the leader of your football team, you have to get their respect from the very beginning, and it's not what you say, but it's what you do. And I know that the seniors and the juniors appreciate the fact that Hobie Rakes brings value to this football team.
Colton Yeager with a hit on the play. It's a first down scenario now with 6:49 left to go. It's Albert in motion. He'll get it in the flat and try to elude one defender, and he cannot. Good job by Alex Smith to stay with him and whip him down inside the 22-yard line.
What really good defensive play. Alex Smith playing that outside linebacker position. Saw the man in motion coming out there, and you got to wonder whether or not that man in motion is just going to be window dressing or somebody you have to pay attention to. The quarterback is looking at him right away. That's one of the things that Hobie Rakes will want to try and improve on, is looking away from that intended receiver. Go through your progressions, but if you intend to flip it out there, don't stare that receiver down at the very moment.
So they'll pick up a few on the play. They'll march the ball down to the 21-yard line. We'll call it second down and 7 from there. One back in the backfield on second down play for Rakes. He's looking for the slant pattern, and the receiver looked late, and the pass was a little underthrown on the play. It'll set up a third down situation. Good idea, but that time Alt looked back a little late, and the pass was underthrown as well.
Well, he had to get rid of it quickly because watch the pressure on the blitz coming from Jack Tenza, who we mentioned on both sides of the ball. And this was just get rid of the football because there was no chance of being able to wait for the receiver to make the break because of the blitz coming from Tenza.
A couple of options for Worthington Christian. They can go ahead and use a wristband. They can call out a number, and of course they can come to the sidelines, as Rakes has done now recently, and get the play that way as well too. Third down, big play for the Warriors now, is with 6:01 left to go. I think we're going to have a timeout on the field.
A little confusion getting the play called in from the offensive side, and timeout for Worthington Christian.
They take their first, and we'll take one as well too with 6:01 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0. Warriors on top here on the CW Columbus. Fans, you don't have to miss Honda's Thursday Night Lights when you are away from your television. You can watch every game online at thecwcolumbus.com. A big thank you to Kroger Distribution and their center for sponsoring tonight's matchup. On the third down play, Rakes with a throwback. It goes to Albert at the 20, sidesteps the defender to the 10, Ethan to the 5, and looks for the pylon, and he's got it. Takes it in for the touchdown with 5:53 left to go. We like the term throwback so often, and that was a throwback, and they'll take it in for their second score to make it 13-0.
We talked about the quarterback making sure that he is deceptive back there with his eyes, and watch here. Looking down here, and here comes the throwback. Everybody flowing with the quarterback. And how about the blocking downfield? Great effort by Jeb Burford, number 64, 6'2", 263 junior, a center. He is out there hustling to make the block that springs him for the touchdown, Randy. That's great effort.
Albert with his third catch and his first touchdown as a receiver, the snap and the extra point. Plenty of leg, and the kick is up. And Grant Woodfin has done it again. And just like that, it is now 14-0 with 5:53 left to go. So they burn the timeout, Jeff, and it works to their favor because they come out of the timeout, run a beautiful play with a throwback, and get the touchdown, and now definitely have control in this game at 14-0.
You know, just think of the effort by Jeb Burford, the center out there, and let there be no doubt, Jeff Hardings, who was a starting center and guard at Penn State, 11 years in the NFL. That's the kind of effort that makes you a champion out there, and that's a great example of the coaching that Hardings has given this football team.
And Jeff, just a reminder that coming up at the start of the second quarter, we'll join Mike Todd on the custom air heating and cooling sideline for a conversation with Fisher Catholic High School Principal Jim Globicar, who not only is an outstanding leader and mentor, but from what I understand, an incredible golfer as well, too. Sort of like you. What's your handicap? Do you have one? Besides me.
I was going to mention I have plenty of handicaps, but if he's as good as he is, let's go.
All right.
I'd like to go play there.
Let's take a look now at your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. That one takes less than 2 minutes to go 63 yards in less than a half dozen plays, and they add the extra point as that man, Mr. Albert, gets the touchdown, and it's now 14-0. Now, what is your handicap? Are you scratched?
Yeah.
Oh. Obviously, you don't work hard enough at your real job. When's the next time you're going to golf, Jeff? Wink, wink.
Oh, it might be tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you very much.
Got to do what you got to do.
Okay, I understand.
These are tough times.
Not for you, as the ball blows off the tee, so Grant Woodfin will hunt it down and put it back up again. Ball on the tee. Got you excited there for a second there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's football, though, not golf. Which is your favorite sport? Should I ask, football or golf?
At this stage of my life, golf.
Okay.
There'll be no doubt. I've got one play left in me. I'm not sure when I'm going to have it for you, but I got one play.
Thank you very much. And there's another great kick by Woodfin. His second touchback in this contest will bring it out to the 20-yard line. I want to ask you this, Jeff. Did you play any defense? And if you did, where did you play?
When I played defense at all, I was a safety, and we would go in on 3rd and long, and I did it mostly because I would be out there then for the punt return.
Okay.
So instead of running out on the field on 4th down only, I would go out on 3rd down and long situations and remain on the field for punt return. I didn't like defense, so.
Here comes a Wild Dog first down. For ticket and sponsorship information, go to ColumbusWildDogs.com. Check it out. They start play in 2022. Thanks to Dave Winham and Steve Germain for their great support. 1st and 10. Hand off to the second man through. They'll push the pile. It's Rugby breaking out at the 23-yard line. And a nice gain on first down by Jack Tenzin Company with 5:43 left to go in the first.
You know, they had a little bit of room when they were getting the ball out on the perimeter in that first drive. Remember the quarterback, Colton Yeager, taking that first play of the game and rolling out to his left side. I think it's going to be very difficult to push that defensive line of Worthington Christian around. Zach Hoheisel, number 76, is 230. Chase Foreman, a little undersized at 180 pounds, is the nose tackle, number 70. But this is a guy that takes command of the football field while he's out there.
And Josh Carroll gumming things up in the middle, just a sophomore. They'll keep it on the ground again. This time they'll get it up to the 25-yard line. Pick up maybe one more. It'll be 3rd down. They'll be halfway home as we approach 5 minutes left to go. That defense is stout that Jeff Hardix has put together. It's a 3-4. He likes it because it's dynamic. It can show multiple fronts, but keep the coverage consistent. And this time they just pinch it all inside, Jeff.
You can see a good job by the offensive line, but again, there was a lot of penetration by the defense. Randy, you got to spread that defense a little bit, and this will be a huge 3rd down early in this football game for Fisher Catholic. They have got to be able to keep control. You mentioned slow it down. Part of slowing it down is maintaining possession of the football by making first downs.
3rd down, they need 3, and they're going to get the first down. Tens across the 30 up to the 31-yard line before he's brought down, so that's enough for a first down. And that could be a little momentum booster for the Irish with 4:24 left to go here in the first.
Yeah, this is a huge accomplishment for this football team with limited roster, and they're getting the ball out there. They're getting the first down here, trying to get some momentum going, and most importantly, keeping the ball away from that high-powered offense of Worthington Christian.
And we should say that Worthington Christian's roster is not huge either, and they're missing a couple of guys that would have been key contributors. We'll touch on that in just a minute here. This time it'll be Yeager on the keeper, out to the 35, looks for a block, hides in a pile of players, and gets out near the sticks at around the 43-yard line. The ball may have come loose at the end of the play, but they're going to say it's in the possession still of the Irish, and they'll have a nice gain on that first down play. They'll pick up about 8.
Yeah, Kavanaugh Frank, the center, came up with the football there. Good faking inside. This was what I was talking about, getting Colton Yeager out on the perimeter. They had early success there, and that's what they need to do. And no doubt that ball did come loose. And Kavanaugh Frank, the center, able to come up with the recovery.
That was Jeb Burford who just forced the ball out of his midsection. So a gain of nearly 9 on the play. That's where the beanbag is. So it'll be 2nd down there, 2nd and a long one. Tens of time, and he's got the first down. We'll talk about youth. Let's talk about the linebackers for Worthington Christian. You got Amsbaugh, Carroll, Zartman, and either Albert or White. And there you're looking at junior, sophomore, freshman, and either a junior or a sophomore. Not a senior, Jeff, to be found in that linebacking core. So mark the ball at the 44-yard line. It'll be first down at 10 for the Irish. From there, as Yeager this time goes to the sidelines and gets the information from Luke Timmis. Last year, they were a team that made it to the playoffs, as did Worthington Christian. And how about that? 7 years in existence, and the Warriors made the playoffs last year under the tutelage of Jeff Hardings and look to be a force this year in a much shorter season. Although everybody's going to make the playoffs this year. You're going to the playoffs, and you're going to the playoffs, and you're going to take a timeout. If you're Worthington Christian, you have burned your second one. You still have one remaining, 2:35 left to go in the first. And the Irish trying to make a statement here on offense.
Fisher Catholic came out, Randy, with an unbalanced line, and something that Coach Hardings didn't like from a defensive alignment, so decided to call the timeout.
Jeff, when it comes to the weather, trust the weather experts. Marshall McPeak and the ABC6 First Warning Weather Experts are on your side, helping you prepare for the best and worst Mother Nature has to offer. Check it out tonight on ABC6 News at 11. And boy, did they go and give us yeoman's coverage on Monday when the storms passed through my place of business during the day. Took a massive hit from the lightning and the wind. But you know what? Carolyn and Marshall, and I think Buck were working that night, and I just kept it glued right there to get all the information I needed from those folks. So thank you to ABC6. And Caroline was fabulous there with Marshall and Buck going back and forth and giving us all that information. So we thank you for that, and let's hope that the worst of the weather is gone for now.
Well, we'll see if the Irish come out with the same look offensively, where it's an unbalanced line. And if they do, it looks like they're flipping it to the other side. More of a standard look here now.
Tight splits, though, on this first down play, and Tenza's got it and tries to take it off the right side. Maybe got about one, perhaps two on the play. A guy that submarined everything that time and came in low to try to disrupt it was Tyler White. He went really low that time, a guy that could play the weak side outside linebacker or the strong safety. A returning starter, he's got 9 solos, 6 assists, a sack, 2.5 tackles for a loss on the campaign.
Trying to get things moving on that right side, but Bodie Sullivan, the big right tackle, number 58, had his hands full, and he's going up against Jeb Burford. Jeb's a good football player. That's him at the top of your screen, number 64. He is a load to be able to move. They call him a space eater. You know, and basically what that means is don't come in this closet because there is no room in here.
Second down and 9 from the 45. Yeager on the boot, going to take it around the right side and get some decent yardage there. Get it across midfield inside the 48-yard line. They'll set up a third down and short now for the Irish, and this is exactly, Jeff, what they wanted to do they couldn't do until this drive.
It's fairly obvious that they're going to have to get on the perimeter against this football team because they are packing the inside. They've got a lot of those red, orange. What color is that, Randy? Are we red there? I'm a little challenged on the color part.
That's kind of a red-orange, isn't it?
Is it red-orange?
Orange.
Okay, I'll go with orange.
Third down, let's call it 1.
Bunches of those jerseys, though, in the box.
And they'll hand it off and get the first down. Tenza needed to get to the 46-yard line. He got to the 45 and then was pushed back, but they'll move the sticks again and give him another Cbus Wild Dogs first down as we approach 1 minute left to go in a rapidly played first quarter.
Here's your head football coach walking the sidelines across the way, Luke Timmis.
Congratulations to Luke and to Jeff, too. Both of these coaches stepped forward, and their cooperation was outstanding. The other thing, Jeff, you'll see on this level is when you need somebody to move, you're going to have to move a number, too. So 88 could become a 58, could become a 4 before it's all said and done. You talked about Kavanaugh Frank, how he had to move around with his numbers and everything, going from a running back to the center. And so you see a lot of those kind of unique items that you don't see in Division I and II. First and 10 for the 45. It's Carpenter in motion. They'll keep it on the ground and get it down to the 41-yard line. And this is exactly what you'd love to do if you're the Irish, as Tenza on the carry again.
You know, Jack Carpenter's got the only touchdown for the Irish so far this season in their first 2 games. They lost their opener to Bern Union 44-0, and then they played Grove City last week. And lost a tough game, Randy. They were tied in that football game before they made back-to-back turnovers, losing in that game 14-7.
Yeah, Grove City Christian came on strong late in that game, and that will do it for the first 12 minutes of action. Warriors on top in this one. Worthington Christian with 2 touchdowns in the first stanza, and after one, they lead Fisher Catholic 14-0. Second quarter upcoming on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College, right here on the CW Columbus.
happy to be joined by the principal at Fisher Catholic, Jim Globacar. Jim, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. You guys have been in school for about 3 weeks now. What has the experience been like so far at Fisher Catholic?
Yes, sir. It's been a positive experience. All our kids have been back. They're excited to be back. Obviously there's some rules that we have to follow that we're not used to, but that being said, the kids experienced the spring, and they experienced what it was like to be at home on their couch and not being able to play sports and do those things. And so they're excited to be back, and they're for once they're eager to follow the rules and to do what we need to do to stay in school.
So the students are excited to be back. What are you excited about this school year at Fisher Catholic?
Well, I'm just excited to be back. I didn't get into education to sit at home on my couch and do Zoom meetings. So we're excited. I'm excited for all of our sports teams. We have over 90% of our kids play a sport. And we have about 160 kids in our school, 9 through 12. And so just to be able to see them do what they enjoy doing and the turnout that we have for all of our sports teams, along with, we missed our spring musical. That's a lot of kids that didn't get an opportunity to participate, and so they're looking forward to that this year. And so, our band is out there. Our band is small but mighty, and so they're excited to be out there. And so it's just getting to see, we're a close-knit family, being in Lancaster, being around for 100 years, and so everybody just likes being together and being able to celebrate what their kids enjoy.
All right. Well, Jim Globacar, the principal at Fisher Catholic High School. Jim, thank you so much for joining us here on Thursday Night Lights. Guys, back up to you.
Mike, thank you very much. 12th play of the drive here as the Irish continue to move. They've held the ball now for more than 6 minutes in this contest. Yeager to Tenza on a pass completion. Yeager on 11-yard keeper, and now they keep it on the ground again, Jeff, and they've got that ball down near the 22-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to challenge their defense a little bit, Randy, because this ball possession really keeps that high-powered offense sidelined. And a lot of credit to this Fisher Catholic offensive line taking control and mixing it up a little bit too, Randy, making sure they get people on the perimeter. Pass completion on the drive, not a common occurrence for this Fisher Catholic offense. They don't throw it very often. They only had 11 passing yards in the first 2 games.
They've equaled that already in this contest. After the gain of 3, they hand it off this time, get the ball inside the 20-yard line. That's it. Because that time, remember, they have different looks as well, too, and Carpenter's a wingback, and I believe Carpenter got the carry that time with a short gain on the play. So now it's going to set up a 3rd down scenario for the Irish as the Warriors look to bend but not break on defense. Worthington Christian's burned 2 timeouts, remember, this contest. The Irish still have their full allotment of 3 with 10:14 left to go as more clouds decide to descend upon Worthington, Ohio, here with this new upper school that they've got here for Worthington Christian, which is tremendous. I know we'll hear more about that at the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th quarter. Big play here for the Irish to keep the drive alive on the 3rd down. Let's call it just more than 5, and they'll keep it on the ground right up the middle, nothing fancy, all the way down to the 10-yard line, and that's going to be enough for the 1st down.
Well, it seems to me from an offensive standpoint, you have to have some misdirection in this offense in order to gain yards, and this is exactly what happened here. Quarterback with the fake, following up right up the middle, and Colton Yeager turning in to be a pretty good rushing quarterback. You can see him taking the ball immediately and getting up inside.
As we're inside the Scott Schiff and Associates red zone on this 1st down and goal with the ball right at the 10-yard line. It is Tenza, nothing inside, and brought down. He ran into the pile, and as he did so, they came around the weak side, and some good backside help by Tyler White, number 45 on your screen, to help make the hit on the play. A strong safety, returning starter, a guy who will blitz a lot and can really line up as a D end as well, too.
Boy, but he was running right through the play there. You can see him come from the outside. Randy, he sensed that there was going to be a collision there in the middle, came around through the back door and was able to make the tackle.
He likes building computers, fishing, and anatomy. That is a varied response from that young man who is but a junior. Again, youthful team for Worthington Christian, yet some experience as well, too, and a pretty good-sized roster. Jeff Hardings has done an amazing job with this program in his last 4 years. Yeager wanting to throw and trying to dump on the out pattern to Tenza. That's the pass they completed earlier on this drive. And that time with the pressure, couldn't get it to go, and actually almost threw that off the wrong foot.
That was a survival throw right there. He didn't want to take the sack. Randy. The pressure was right there. Again, right-handed quarterback stepping this way, very difficult, and that is not fundamentally sound, but he wasn't trying to be as much sound as he needed to be there. He needed to just get rid of the football, so mission accomplished for the quarterback, and looks like we've got a timeout for Fisher Catholic.
Chase Foreman living up to his first name and making a big play there to set up a 3rd down and goal from the 10 as the timeout is taken with 8:35 left to go here in the first half. They signaled timeout for Worthington Christian, but I wonder if it went the other way. We'll find out. So 3rd down play, and we'll see what the Irish have up their sleeves late in this first half. Hey, we know mornings are different, but Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 and Fox 28 remain on your side from the moment you get out of bed. From overnight changes to what's happening in your neighborhood, be sure to wake up with Kurt, Jessica, Buck, and Katie tomorrow morning for Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 and Fox 28.
Well, Randy, you think about the consistency of this offensive football team here on this drive. They're possessing large chunks of clock, which is a great defense against Worthington Christian, but they have converted 4 times on this series on 3rd down. So that is a recipe for success if you are the Irish.
And normally the opponents against Worthington Christian in the first 2 games have only converted 22.7% of the 3rd downs. 3rd and goal from just past the 10-yard line now. And I'm not sure if that was by design or not, but Yeager kept the ball. And now you got a 4th down. When you're down by 14, do you contemplate J.J. Vio with a field goal attempt, or do you go for a 7 here?
Boy, it looks to me like they're in 4-down territory. Randy going to commit to this offense?
One thing you wonder if it may work, remember how Worthington Christian dumped the ball in the flat to Ethan Albert to kind of spread out that defense? I wonder if the Irish will try something similar to that.
Nope.
He's coming out.
They're going to send the kicker out.
5'7", 148, a sophomore, a soccer kid that they get on Tuesdays and on walkthrough days. His range is up to 40 yards. He's actually made, are you ready for this, nearly 50-yarders with either foot in practice. Are you ambidextrous with your feet?
That's pretty impressive.
Be pedextrous, I guess, huh? Pressure's on, and a line drive kick, and it sails through. So count it, 3 on the board as right now the Irish dent the scoreboard for the first time, make it 14-3 with 7:35, and for some reason the clock is still running. We'll take a break. This is the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Founders Field as the Irish get their first score. It's a field goal of 27 yards as we take a look now at your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. And wow, 18 plays, 68 yards, 10-18 off the clock. And they don't get a touchdown, but Jeff, they get 3, but that's what we were talking about when we said shortening the game. Reynolds is going to start the return from the 7. Jaden glides up the middle and gets up to around the 24-yard line. So returns at 17 yards, and the Warriors will get it back. Jeff, for the latecomers, what has Worthington Christian done well on offense?
Well, I think they did an improvement there in the second quarter is, Randy, from a standpoint of Worthington Christian, they've been able to get the ball in space to their playmakers. And so Hobie Rakes has been solid. Look at his numbers, 5 out of 6 passing. Coming into tonight's game, he was 27 of 33, 6 touchdowns, and he's already got 2 of them tonight.
And thrown for over 400 yards. They're showing blitz up the middle. Let's see if they're coming. They are not. And the quick pop in the flat. A little behind Reynolds, who makes the catch. Jaden down to sidelines, 35-40. Midfield, nice cut back, 40, and look out, he's in the open field and wait. Bye-bye, he will take it the distance. Jaden Reynolds, 5'11", 163, and a junior, and takes it in for a Ramos Roofing touchdown. It took one team 10 minutes to score on a field goal. It took them about 8 seconds to score on a long touchdown of 80 yards, just about.
Again, that's what we talked about. This is a breakdown on defense. You've got to have somebody rotating up to be able to get this man in the flat before he gains speed. And Jaden Reynolds off to the races. My goodness, he's had 19 catches in the first 2 weeks of the season, and he's off to a big night tonight. The junior's got his second touchdown.
And remember, too, what Jeff Harding said about Reynolds. They will throw him 50-50 balls all the time because he's such a stellar athlete. 76 yards officially on that touchdown. And the extra point is up and good. And just like that, the answer from the Warriors, 21-3, 7:14 left to go in the first half. We'll take another break. And now the Irish will try to answer here. Week number 3 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. 7:14 left in the first half. Worthington Christian with another touchdown to widen that cushion up to 18 points in this game. We'll take a look now at your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. One play, 76 yards. Actually took 13 seconds to go the length of the field and get that tally. And just like that, it is now 21-3. So if you're the Irish, you were so happy that you got that field goal. You drained 10 minutes, but you can shorten the game all you want. But if the other team can score in 13 seconds, you've got problems.
You know, normally you talk about your defense getting a lot of rest when you have that kind of a situation, Randy, where your offense possesses it for 10 minutes. But the problem is most of your offense plays defense as well. So they're going to be gassed either way.
Great facility here at Founders Field. We should mention that's the birth of their artificial surface that they have here, which is stellar. Our thanks to everybody, Kevin Weekley and the crew, the AD here, for the great job they do. There's the kick. It's going to float at the 15-yard line. Will they scoop it up? Finally scooped up there, and Smith trying to scoot to the outside, and he'll get what he can up to around the 20-yard line. Well, folks, I got to tell you, it's the coolest halftime show in Central Ohio. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll break down the hottest stars and coolest plays thus far in the Custom Air Heating and Cooling Cool Plays of the first half, courtesy of Custom Air. Thanks to Jeff Reed and the game for the great work they do every single day. So cool plays coming up, and we've seen a number of them already here in the first half, and a penalty assessed as well, too, against the Irish on the kick return. Will mark the ball back inside the 15-yard line. Try to get Bruce Mauer's microphone functioning in the second half. As the cushion now 18 points, the Irish with work to do.
Looks like there's some confusion on the Fisher Catholic side offensively. Quarterback Colton Yeager. Oh, didn't have a football. Yeah. Minor detail.
You need a football. That's the other thing that changes, too, by the way. Each team has their own football. They share the beanbag. The officials take care of that. So now rapidly coming up with it is Kavanaugh Frank. And will they burn a timeout? They may have to. Yep, they're going to burn a timeout because they couldn't get the football in time, and that 40-second clock was ticking away, so the Irish will burn a timeout. Now, they earlier signaled that Worthington Christian took a timeout. That would have been their third, but I really got to think that on the third down and goal play, that was Fisher Catholic. So we're going to go with a scenario that each team has burned 2 timeouts in the first half.
You know, I think obviously it's the responsibility of the offensive football team to bring the ball onto the field when it's your turn, and that time they forgot to bring the ball, so had to take the timeout.
Jeff, I don't know if you know this, but you can rewatch or share tonight's game and the entire 2020 season of Honda's Thursday Night Lights by visiting our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WSYX on your side and look for the 2020 Thursday Night Lights playlist. There's a best of Jeff Logan on there. It runs about 12 seconds. So don't miss that as well, too. So. Jeff, did you ever think we'd be doing this for about 25 years?
You didn't tell me that when we started.
When you signed that contract.
Exactly.
So 1st and 10 now for the Irish near the 10-yard line for Yeager and company. And they'll keep it on the ground and just some raw up-high running power to advance the ball out to around the 13-yard line. 5 defenders waiting there in the place to take the ball out the left side, looking for a little opening. There was Tenza, and he found one. Keeps the football now, and eventually will hand it into the gut of his center.
Chase Foreman, watch number 70 there. Good leverage on his blocker, and he comes in there to make the play. Really good use of his hands up there. Very impressed with how number 70 plays there at that middle guard, nose guard position. Again, small for the position at only 180 pounds. On the right side of him, he's got Burford over there at 263. Zach Hoheisel over on the left side at 230. But he holds his own in there.
We talked about the size of the heart, right, Jeff? And you saw that there with Mr. Foreman, Mr. Burford as well, too. On the ground and nothing off the left side that time. Boy, Tenza tried to find a gap. And those big guys up front, you know, if there's not a stalemate at least created where the linebackers have to come in and make the play, you're in trouble. And that's the scenario here as the defensive line is able to gum it up from the get-go.
Yeah.
Looks like Hoheisel coming through with a hit.
You know, you can't block all those guys when they got that many in the box, and so you're going to have to be a little bit more diverse in your offense in terms of getting the ball out on the perimeter. Coming out of the game there is Zach Hoheisel,
who last week I think had a fumble recovery for 62 yards and a touchdown against Miller. And a guy likes fishing and is part of the internship with Worthington Christian in that program. So now 3rd down, a big play here for the Irish just to keep possession of the football. As we're just past the halfway point of the second quarter. This time Yeager from the gun. Looking, wanting to throw long. And he's got a man downfield in double coverage. Jump ball, and it falls incomplete. as he was looking for Tenza on the play. Reynolds was back there, and he had some help as well, too, on the play. It's 2 and 22 who sandwich it together, and Andrew Garner.
You know, probably fortunate that this ball was not intercepted, but on the other hand, they're going to bring up a punting situation anyway. And Worthington Christian, quite frankly, may end up with better field position by not intercepting that football and forcing the punt here. Let's see if they put a little bit of pressure on the punter, see if they can get a blocked kick.
Let's not shortchange Hobie Rakes with his coverage on the play. So now that Colton Yeager's going to have to punt the ball, he's going to stand back near his own goal line to assume that. And the twin safeties back at the 45 of the Irish. Drops the snap, picks it up, and opts to run it. Can he get off the kick? A little rugby action there. Kick on the run. And across midfield. A little bit like Ohio State.
That may have been the play of the game so far.
Across midfield. Yeah.
How about Colton Yeager?
Talk about razzle-dazzle.
Dribbles that football back there, doesn't know what he's going to do with it, finds a way to be able to kick the football, and ends up with about a 40-yard kick on the play. Watch again. Ball pretty well snapped, but fortunately, let's see, left footer? No, right footer. Moving to his left, having to kick right. I'm going to tell you what, athletically, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pretty good effort by young Colton Yeager.
37 yards on the punt. 1st and 10 now for the Warriors from their own 49-yard line. Again, going with a 6-person crew. We have a center judge tonight. That's Christine Cordy. So she's back there on the same side as our referee, Bruce Maurer. Normally on the opposite hand if it's a right-handed quarterback, and this time on the keeper by Rakes. Gets it across midfield. Will pick up nearly 2 on the play before he's put down to terra firma. And that's Bodie Sullivan helping to make the hit on the play. And there's a young man running the show, as I mentioned, just a freshman, and Hobie Rakes. When do you reach a point, Jeff, when you're not a freshman anymore?
You know,
3?
Well, you mean 3 games into this campaign? You know, it's obvious that they have not had all the practices that you would normally have. So trying to get a freshman quarterback developed in this year just blows my mind. This goes to Hobie Rakes in his preparation and the coaching that he's received. I think he's elevated himself beyond freshman status already.
Albert's got it after a gain of 2 on 1st down. Carts himself to the outside, down the sidelines, and has the 1st down. Nice run by Ethan Albert. The other thing, too, you got to mention about this team, 1 turnover in the first 2 games. How successful have they been? Pretty darn successful when you talk about that.
No, Coach Harding's played for Coach Paterno, and one of the things that Penn State always preached was to win that turnover battle. And so I can guarantee you that he has brought a lot of that Penn State theory to this football team here.
And I'm not going to mention that Coach Harding's turned 48 this past Monday, so I did not say that. I'm in trouble with Jeff already. A guy that I covered, by the way, in high school when St. Henry was doing so well. In fact, I covered their state championship games in basketball. Rolling and keeping and finding a gap and then whipped down on a play. Rakes was tossed down. Yeah, that was a kind of a violent tackle there by Kavanaugh Frank, and we'll see who that penalty goes against as Bruce Maurer comes our way to signal that with 4:21 left to go in the first half. Bruce has not lost a step. Man, that's officiated on so many levels. But he has lost a microphone. It's a face mask call.
And this is a man that is as technically sound as any official that has ever called a football game at any level. Pro, college, I don't care where it is.
He puts out a gold book, which is, for religious schools, maybe this is apropos, the Bible of officiating for the high school officials in the state of Ohio. It's a masterful job that he does. We're inside the Scott Schiff and Associates red zone here. One more time for the Warriors. Rakes rolling, gunning underneath, and the pass a little underthrown. And the one thing you have to do if you're trying to make something happen and the ball's a little underthrown is look it into your hands. That's something that Amsbaugh didn't do on that play.
Very difficult throw for Hobie Rakes to be able to make as there was pressure coming and trying to unload the football as he was falling away from it. And I think pretty good effort by Rakes. But again, watch that ball all the way in. You can see he had to sidearm it to get it out there. Catchable? Yes. Got to get that improved, though, to get that ball up a little bit higher for that receiver, especially when he's trying to catch it in the flat.
Amsbaugh has a 26-yard touchdown catch in this contest already. 4:16 left to go. 2nd down and 10 now from inside the 20-yard line. On the toss, is this an option play? Yep, they're going to keep it on the ground. I thought maybe we were going to look at a little razzle-dazzle with an option pass on the play, but they get the ball inside the 15-yard line. So a nice gain on that second down play.
Looked like another high tackle going in there. We had a face mask on a couple of plays ago. Let's watch the tail end of this. This is a forward pass. So this counts as a passing play. And watch again. Up high.
Under the elbow, it looked like.
Yeah, clean hit. No question about it. Coming in there was Waylon Yeager, the brother of quarterback Colton Yeager.
So Reynolds with the catch on the play. It'll set up a third down situation with 3:41 left to go. I was going to mention the couple of guys that were missing for Worthington Christian in Daylon Johnston in this contest. And also Braden Anderson, both out because of injuries. Officials timeout on the field. You realize how much you miss the microphone when it's not functioning properly, you know? But, you know, one of the players is going to be asked to leave the contest for Worthington Christian to come to the sidelines. I think it's Reynolds. He will come to the sidelines and be replaced. But, you know, those two guys that are out right now, Daylon Johnston was injured on the first day of scrimmage. Officials timeout, and now a timeout going to be taken on the field. Bruce Maurer getting the information, and timeout going to be taken with 3:25 left to go. And then also Braden Anderson with a dislocated elbow that happened last week. So Worthington Christian missing firepower. Just think how deadly they would be if they had those guys as well too. As the first half will come to a close, stick around. We'll hear from both head coaches. In fact, first we'll probably hear from Jeff Hardings in the Bob Evans Coaches Corner with our very own Mike Todd. That and more coming up on our Music Around halftime show. It's only the second third down for Worthington Christian so far in this first half, up by a count of 21-3. Again, if the marching gets up to 30, Jeff, that's when the rules of the continuous clock will take effect in the second half. So a timeout taken. We'll give that to Worthington Christian, call that their third and final timeout. Normally you don't see that when a team is up by 18, that they've burned all three timeouts. But the one thing I like with both of these head coaches, Jeff, these are ongoing learning experiences. For some schools, you don't have the classroom open. This is the classroom for this football team here tonight for Worthington Christian.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the coachable moments that are so important to the growth of a football team, and especially when you've got programs like this with, you know, not a lot of experience. I mean, these are a lot of young football players out there learning as they go.
So 3:25 left to go, 21-3. Here's Mr. Rakes. He doesn't even look like a freshman when I look at him. I think about my freshman year, I got excited. I finally found a hair on my chin. I would shave that thing twice a week, whether it needed it or not. On a third down at 4, Rakes with time now. Will motor inside the 11 to the 10-yard line, slides into second base before he's knocked down on play. A couple guys helping to make the hit in number 62, James Bryant, and 58, Bodie Sullivan.
A good read by the quarterback, Kobe Rakes. There was pressure right away, and he found an opening, turned a negative into a positive play, and slid, as you mentioned, Randy, just inside the 10-yard line.
Waylon Yeager with the pressure, but he did not get enough for the first down. So from this vantage point, Jeff, it's going to be fourth down and a long yard as we are under 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Is it Albert time?
Yeah, a little confusion trying to get the right package on the field. Let's see if they have no timeouts remaining, so they're going to have to run this play.
Jackson Zartman checks on. Back judge has not waved his hand. Now it goes up to let us know there's 5 seconds left, and they get the ball inside the 9 to the 8-yard line, and that'll be enough for a first and goal now for Worthington Christian with 2.5 left to go in the first half.
Ethan Albert, a very dependable ball carrier, carrying the ball there to pick up the first down. Just knew that that's what he wanted to do. They love to run to that right side of the offensive line. And you can see a good job of getting north and south, keeping his pads low, and giving them first and goal.
Number 62.
So now it is first and goal inside the 10-yard line for Hobie Rakes and company. Worthington Christian, actually one of the schools that did get a chance to start practice around August the 1st. Again, last year, great 8-3 team, able to make the playoffs. They've learned how to win to get to the playoffs. The next goal for them, Jeff, is to win a playoff game. Rakes from the gun and a whistle. And we have a delay of game. Back judge's arm went up, and the flag was tossed in the end zone by Jeff Gregory. So moving back 5 now with 1:50 left to go.
You know, these are the struggles of freshman quarterback. First time that we've kind of seen the chink in the armor out there. Coaches have got to make sure they do a great job at getting the plays called early on for your young quarterback so that he can communicate properly with his team and leave enough time out there, Randy, quite frankly, that if he needs to change a play, he's got the time to do it.
And your eyes have to peer upfield, too, about 15 or 20 yards and check that back judge. When the arm goes in the air, the count is at 5 to get that play off. From the gun now on a 1st and goal from just inside the 15-yard line. On the out, the pass is high. Oh, what a catch. What did we talk about? That with Jaden Reynolds, you throw up the 50-50 ball and let him try to pull it down. What a great athlete he is. He makes the catch. A young man who likes basketball, music, and anatomy.
Yeah, back shoulder throw, keeping it away from the defense, and very impressive throw by the quarterback, but a more impressive catch by Jaden Reynolds. Watch him go up, high point the football. Really good defense there. But again, Randy, throw it to that back shoulder. Do not allow the defense an opportunity to come through there and intercept that ball.
And again, the clock is an issue right now. They're out of timeouts unofficially, and Rakes has got him 2nd down and goal inside the 8-yard line. Low snap. He's got a man open right there, and the pass sails to the outside. Look at the inside, flag on the play as well, too. Intended for Elijah Alt.
Looks like it's going to be roughing the passer.
Indeed, that is the call against the Irish. So they'll mark it half the distance, put the ball down near the 4-yard line. Should I start doing a voiceover like we're dubbing in a foreign movie or something like that?
That is roughing the passer. Watch again on the quarterback. You're going to see the pressure come in here, unloads the football, and a really late hit. And again, you know, that's an effort play, but you've got to be smart enough to be able to pull back on that and not hit that quarterback.
And Waylon Yeager knew it too, so it's 1st down and goal now. Mark the ball at the 4-yard line. And we have whistles before the start of that play.
A little raggedy right here on both sides. We've got
false start offense. Replay the down. 1:07 left to go. Well, we mentioned the drive of 10 minutes by Fisher Catholic. This may take 10 minutes inside the 10-yard line here just to get this done for the Warriors.
Again, 1:07 remaining. No timeouts for Worthington Christian, trying to punch this ball into the end zone. A little surprised that they're trying to throw the ball down here. Colton Yeager, or excuse me, Hobie Rakes might be a pretty good guy to be able to just run that football into the end zone.
Reynolds is the inside guy here, but they're going to go for the slant. It's deflected. Reynolds is going to catch it and drop it. Now, since the pass went forward.
Is there a whistle?
Well, it was ruled incomplete by Bruce Maurer. Now the ball's picked up. The pass went forward, then was deflected and went backwards after that, so it's a forward pass.
Let's watch again here. Here's the throw, tipped right there. So it's a forward pass, no question about it. Incomplete. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And Bruce Maurer signaled it immediately. I see the football go back, and I think people think a lot of times, okay, the ball went backwards, so maybe it's lateral. Well, no, it was tipped as it went forward. So with 1:02 left to go, going to set up a 2nd down and goal right around the 9-yard line.
It's like Caden Lassiter, the backup quarterback, number 1 in the football game.
Also a wideout, 5'8", 116 sophomore, has a catch for 12 yards and a touchdown and 5 carries for 34. He will go to the top of the set. Twin backs in the backfield now. That's Reynolds in motion, bottom to top. Low snap. Does he look for Jaden here? He dumps it to him, and the pass incomplete. Good coverage, late break on the play, and nicely done by Alex Smith to bat it away.
A little communication going on between the receivers out there as if somebody took a different route. But again, trying to force that football in here. They're trying to get the ball, as you might imagine, to Jaden Reynolds. He's their go-to guy, but the ball thrown behind him, and what really good defense that time by Alex Smith, who had the responsibility as a linebacker covering a really good receiver in Jaden Reynolds.
55.9 left to go in the first half now. His 3rd down and goal from just inside the 9-yard line. One back in the backfield. That's Reynolds in motion, bottom to top again. They bluff the throwback. Rakes tries to get away now, throws it back anyway, and it's caught for a loss. As he gets the ball back to Albert, who makes the catch, but now it's going to be 4th down and long. I would assume you'll attempt a field goal from Grant Woodfin.
Now, this is a freshman mistake. You never, ever throw the football back across the field like this with that pressure. Go ahead and take the sack. Throwing the ball back like here, that could have been returned for a 6-pointer for sure. That one, Coach Hardings will remember for quite some time.
And
coachable moments.
And that indeed was a forward pass. They can milk much of this clock here at the end of the first half. There's a snap, there's the kick, plenty of leg. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So they add 3 to the tally with 12.8 left to go and make it 24-3 after that field goal of some 34 yards.
Field goal kick by Grant Woodfin.
And Woodfin does the smart thing. He corrals the football. So make the cushion now 21 points in this contest in the winning moments of quarter number 2. At the end of the second quarter, it's the Music Go Round halftime show. Tonight, Mike Todd takes you inside the world of Music Go Round and the great opportunities that await parents and children. You got to check that out at halftime on the Music Go Round halftime show. And I don't know about your kids, but my son played trombone, then went to F attachment trombone and loved it and was in the jazz band. And a long time ago when the earth was cooling, I played clarinet. By the time I got to high school, I was the only boy with 14 girls. Did you play a musical instrument at all, sir?
You want to explain you and 14 girls?
No, I don't.
Were these dates?
Not at Worthington Christian. No, there were 14 girls playing the clarinet. I was the only boy.
I thought they were impressed with you playing the clarinet, and you had 14 girls that were chasing you around.
I've never impressed 14 of anybody in my life, so no. Did you play any instrument in high school?
I did not.
Okay.
I fooled around with the guitar for a while, but I found out my fingers were too short. Just a little too short to be able to make it work.
Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. It says 5-13, but it felt like 50-13 on that drive. 14 plays, 34 yards. Nice job by Woodfin to get that field goal, 34 yards. They make the cushion now 24-3 in this one. Under 13 seconds left to go, and Grant has it teed up again at the 40-yard line. Do you pooch it along the ground, or do you kick it deep? He's had a couple of touchbacks already in this contest.
Had a flag thrown on the other side, Randy, before we got started here.
That was Chris Cordy tossing the flag along the far side of the field. Our umpire. And now we're ready. They'll put it along the ground. And at first bobbled, but then covered up nicely by the Irish in the person of Simon Messerly, just a freshman. And now the Irish get it back. You're down 21, but you're near midfield. You got 11.8 seconds left to go. Nobody's got a timeout in this area code. So what do you do if you're the Irish?
Run a base play. Don't do anything silly here. Worthington Christian had the football at the beginning of the game, so Fisher Catholic will get the ball at the beginning of the second half regardless. So just don't do anything silly here with 11 seconds remaining.
And a chance to regroup for the Irish at halftime. And a chance for Worthington Christian. You got to think to get a couple scores maybe early in that second half. And, Jeff, make that a 30-point cushion and get that continuous clock going.
Yeah, halftime's now under the new rules, only 10 minutes. And the locker rooms are the end zones.
Right. And that's an option. You can go with a longer time, but most are going 10+3. And coming around this time across midfield all the way down to the 46-yard line on the carry. That is Smith. Alex has got it. And that will be the last play of the first half with no flags down. And an impressive performance by Worthington Christian coming into this game at 2-0. And Jeff Hardings, in his fourth year as head coach, a mark of 20-13. He was the offensive line coach for 2 years before becoming the head coach here, and was also 5 years as an assistant coach in Pittsburgh at Avonmore High School. And he's got his team off to a nice cushion at the break of 24-3. And Jeff, a lot of weapons, although you can tell they really love getting the ball to Jaden Reynolds whenever they can.
Yeah, Randy, there was a chance that this could have been blown out early in this game. Worthington Christian showing their capacity to put quick points on the board. But that 10-minute drive by Fisher Catholic is going to be one of those things that the coach is going to try and replicate when they come out in the third quarter and really get his team to focus on the fact that they need to control the football and keep the ball away from the high-powered Worthington Christian offense.
Jeff Harding still here at the 30-yard line, coaching him up as he talks to his team as they walk down to the corner beyond the end zone to talk here at Founders Field, this outstanding facility, and just go over a couple things with his team while he has the opportunity. So he's doing that. Luke Timmis will do the same thing on the far side as they bust over for this contest tonight. And a great job by both these head coaches. Again, two of the smaller schools will ever feature here on Thursday Night Lights, but it's been our honor to do that. So with that being said, we're going to head down to the end zone for our Bob Evans Coach's Corner interview. And Mike Todd is standing by with the mentor of the Warriors.
All right, thanks a lot, Randy. Jeff, what did you see during that first half?
lot of energy from our team. I talk about energy all the time. They're enthusiastic. Obviously, it's a TV game, so they're excited about that. They're encouraging each other, and we talk about relentless effort all the time, and every coach does, and it's exciting to see that out there tonight.
What are you going to be working on at halftime?
Just some adjustments. They came out with a pretty good game plan, got that one drive, started moving the ball down the field, so we need to make some adjustments.
All right, Coach, appreciate that. Good luck during the second half. Guys, back up to you.
I'll say it, Hobie Rakes is no longer a freshman after watching him run this show in the first half. 24-3 is the tally in this one. And we're at halftime. The Music Around Halftime Show just around the corner. We'll take a break. This is Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus.
Raising Cane's is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Alex Smith is a starter for the Fisher Catholic High School football team. He's earned varsity letters in both football and basketball. Alex carries a 3.04 GPA and is currently pursuing a degree with the Eastland Fairfield Career Center. He volunteers with the United Way and is a member of the Fisher Catholic's Irish for Life Club. Congratulations to this outstanding Raising Cane's Scholar Athlete.
You are watching the Music Go Round halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus. Worthington Christian in command of Fisher Catholic by a score of 24-3. No band tonight, but that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about music, as I spent a few moments with my friend Kevin Johnson from Music Go Round. I'm happy to be coming to you from our halftime sponsor, Music Go Round. We are at their Bethel Road location. They have 2 locations in Central Ohio, and I'm happy to be joined by the owner of Music Go Round. This is Mr. Kevin Johnson. Kevin, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us. How long has Music Go Round been in Central Ohio?
We've been in Central Ohio since 1996, 24 years.
If a customer still doesn't feel comfortable coming into your store, is there still a way that they can shop for musical instruments or other things like that?
Absolutely. We have a very extensive website with pictures of all the stuff we have. You can buy it with curbside pickup. And we're also doing buying, where you can schedule an appointment and do a curbside pickup for your buy and call you in the parking lot with your offer.
So I know that a lot of people have been buying gear from you during this pandemic. You guys have got a little bit of shortage of equipment, and you're looking for folks to bring in some equipment so that you guys can kind of restock some of those shelves. Is that right?
Absolutely. We've got some big holes. A lot of people are taking up music because they have free time and the interest. But if you're a person that took it up in the past and are no longer interested, bring your gear to us, because we want to get more guitars and amps and drum sets and clean them up and get them in the hands of somebody that wants to play them.
But I know you've got a wide selection of instruments. 2 of the big items are guitars and ukuleles.
Yeah, the ukulele is not just for kids, it's for adults. And it's a gateway instrument to the guitar, because it's a lot easier to play, not intimidating. And once you get that mastered, you're like, well, maybe I can take the bigger one and do something with that. And we have band and orchestra instruments too. Yeah,
as I look behind you here and I see some of the band and orchestra,
Right.
You guys got a wide selection.
We have a very good selection right now for back to school.
All right. Well, Kevin Johnson from Music Go Round. Once again, 2 locations here in Central Ohio. Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Kevin from Music Go Round. And Kevin, thanks for taking care of my electric guitar. Coming up, more of the Music Go Round halftime show. You are watching the Music Go Round halftime show on Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus.
Raising Cane's is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Erin Davison is a varsity member of the Worthington Christian High School Soccer Club. Following in the footsteps of her brothers, she's been playing Worthington Christian soccer for 10 years. Erin carries a 4.15 GPA and plans to pursue a college degree in elementary education. And she regularly volunteers with kids at her church. Congratulations to this outstanding Raising Cane's Scholar Athlete.
And welcome back to the Music Go Round halftime show. At the break, it is Worthington Christian on top of Fisher Catholic 24-3. Back inside the press box, Randy Reinhardt alongside Jeff Logan. Outstanding first half, especially for the squad from Worthington Christian. We saw that early on they had a lot of offensive weapons. Jaden Reynolds was a catalyst for them, but they have a lot of balance on this team.
Yeah, they really do, Randy. 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers for Worthington Christian in that first half.
Let's look at some of the highlights now. Corell Amsbaugh catches a 26-yard pass from Hobie Rakes. Grant Woodfin added the PAT. It was 7-0 early. Then Ethan Elbert says, I want to be a part of the show.
What a good look back here after they got caught maybe signaling where they were going. good misdirection, got the ball in the end zone.
Colton Yeager says, I'm going to drive my team and try to milk some of this clock, and he'll take it here. And they'll get a nice run with Tenza and company, and they'll get it down inside the 10. And then J.J. Vio coming through with their own tally for the Irish in the first half, a 27-yard field goal to make it 14-3. And then it was Mr. Reynolds putting on a show. Nice pass to him. 76 yards, Jeff, down the sidelines to make it 21-3.
Yeah, 5 catches for this young man in the first half for 139 yards and a touchdown. We knew coming into the game that this was a dynamic player who had the ability to go out there and make people miss and go the distance, and been pretty impressive so far.
One thing you don't see on there is that the Irish did well on third down conversions. They were 4 of 7, but you look at the total numbers in the first half, and indeed they do favor the Warriors.
Well, and all those yards for Fisher Catholic basically coming in that one drive where they had the ball for 10 minutes, and that will be the key to this football game in the second half. They get the ball first, Randy. Can they go back and duplicate that long drive? They're not going to score on big plays. They're going to score by maintaining the football and making things go in the right direction.
Shorten the game is their key, and for the Warriors, more of the same. 24-3, the tally here at the break. We'll be back with the second half when you come back to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. (24-3) as we get ready to start the second half. Let's throw it down to Mike Todd for our Bob Evans Coaches Corner interview.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Luke, what did you tell your team at halftime?
Well, we said that we were pretty pleased with that last defensive series, even though we gave up a field goal. It was a pretty good showing by our defense. We just need to, it's big plays that we've been giving up. Offense, we need to shore up the fumbling problem and keep ground control.
All right, Coach, appreciate you so much. Good luck during the second half. The guys, back up to you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. So that's the scene here as we get ready for the start of the second half in week number 3. Resetting the scene for you, Fisher Catholic comes in at 0-2, losing to Bern Union 44-0, and Grove City Christian by a count of 14-7. On the other side, for the Warriors of Worthington Christian, they beat Grove City Christian by a count of 42-8 with 380 yards total offense in that game, and beat Miller last week by a score of 31-0. All right, if you're the Warriors in the second half, as we get ready for the kickoff sponsored by Ohio University, where your path to success is guaranteed. If you're Coach Hardings, what do you tell your team at halftime?
Well, you tell them you challenge them on this first drive for a 3-and-out. That is what they need to do, because they can put this game away with a quick score, but they need a 3-and-out here on the first drive.
And there's the kick to start the second half, and Mr. Woodfin has got a leg. I tell you what, for a guy that is kicking in Division 6 against Division 7, I don't care. That guy has done the job. And then look at the fact, when you look at Grant, too, you look at the vital stats and you go, my goodness, this guy is going to be back. He is just a junior. And you take a look at it as well, too. He's got a field goal in this contest, so he's 2 of 3 from field goal range. And now it's the Irish trying to make a statement here to start this second half, down by 3 touchdowns. And the guy running the show again offensively is Colton Yeager, the 6'3", 176-pound senior. And you can see what he's done so far this contest. And he had 48 yards rushing, so that puts him right now at 86 on the campaign. On this Columbus Wild Dogs first down, he will keep it, and he will go wild and get wild around the corner and fight his way all the way up for a nice gain on the play. So he's got a first down, and Yeager trying to make a statement early in the second half, moves the ball and the chains for the Irish.
Again, there's so many of the defensive jerseys packed in there in the box that the opportunity to get out on the perimeter against this defense would appear to me to be your recipe for success. This is a keeper all the way. You can see everybody going with the fake. And a great effort by Colton Yeager, who's been the entire offense for the Irish.
Yeah, good job. You talked about it. We mentioned in the first half, too, spread out that field to get that defense to be in one-on-one situations. And that's what they did on that play as Kavanaugh Frank brings up the football for his team after a 15-yard gain. 1st and 10 now from the 35-yard line with a wide out and a slot to the bottom. And that is Smith in motion, who will get the handoff. Gives a little ground back to the 30-yard line. Can he get back to the line of scrimmage? He does. He glides across the 40. Picks up a nice gain. Again, Jeff going wide. Took a long time to materialize, but able to get to the corner before the defense and make it a second down and short.
Well, they have found the soft spot, and until Worthington Christian adjusts out of that packed defense, they've got to keep pressure on the perimeter, trying to come up with big runs. Randy, that's 2 10-yard gains at the beginning, or that was an 8-yard gain, but 2 big chunks on the first plays of those drives.
I don't know if you saw this, but Tenza didn't knock down the 2 guys, but he ran into 2 guys and pushed them off their track a little bit, allowing Smith to get to the outside. They need 2 on second down. And they won't get it. They'll come close. They'll get up maybe to the 44, maybe the 45-yard line when they give the forward progress to Jack Tenza. He's near the chains now, and in fact, they are going to put the ball right at the 45. So it looked like his knee touched the 44, but with the extension, he was at the 45, so they'll move the chains. And one thing we have not seen in the first 2.5 weeks is what?
A measurement.
No measurement so far in high school
And I don't
football.
think the officials are going to do measurements at all this year. I think it's going to be, they're going to eye it and go with it to avoid all the different contact that would come with bringing those chains out.
From the 45 at a first down play. Nothing fancy there. Smash mouth football will garner maybe a yard. That's about it.
Interesting times we're in, huh, Randy? When you think about things like a measurement being an issue in high school football.
And a beanbag to mark plays, which they use on 7-and-7 drills. I know it's a gain of 1 on the play, but then again, Jeff, going back a month ago, we didn't think we'd even have high school football. And the good news is now we're seeing this, and hopefully we're seeing the return to normalcy, at least in some small sliver, for other sports as well, too. You feel bad for the student athletes that missed out on winter and spring as well, too. And a new leader now of the OHSAA, and hopefully we'll get him on the show sometime soon. The extension has been made to him for an invite. We'll try to get back to him as well. So congratulations to Mr. Ute.
I was watching the girls' tennis match here when we got here early today. It was great to see. Athletics.
Yeager going to boot it to the left. Colton trying to turn it outside, now inside, and Reynolds stayed at home. Elbert helped to stretch it out a little bit, and Jaden makes the play.
You know, I thought Mike Todd's interview with the director at Fisher Catholic talking about the importance of athletics in their program as you watch the tail end of this play as Colton Yeager takes it up inside. The fact that 95% of their students at Fisher Catholic are involved in some level of athletics. That's amazing. Now, again, that's unique to this program, unique to this school. Not every school is that way, but think of all the different special events that students are involved in. And I think, Randy, the growth of a young person is how they get involved in those extracurricular activities, whether it's sports or not.
He bemoaned the loss, too, at the school play as well, too. So, yes, those kids deserve it, and hopefully we'll become a healthier society. The pass deflected at the line of scrimmage falls harmlessly incomplete on that third down play. So good job by the pressure up front to make that happen. Big number 64 is the tallest guy there. I'm going to say it was the paw of Jeff Burford. So Jeff gets up the paw, big number 64, and bats it down.
You want to make him throw through the picket fence, and there's the big guy, Jeff Burford, getting up there and making him do it. And that's a great job of getting your hands off of that offensive lineman and getting it up and making him throw through that fence.
So Yeager will stay on to punt now and try to boot it to the right, but it kind of knuckles back to the left, and Reynolds will scoop it up at the 15-yard line and lose the ball. Squirts free at the 16-yard line. The Irish think they have it, but we'll see. Nope, it's in the possession. Good fight at the bottom of the pile to come up with a football by big number 16 for the Warriors. Coming up with a football, that is Adam Dunson, 5'10", 155, who's also the punter.
Covered by the Warriors.
This is interesting because there's a lot of white jerseys there when the ball comes loose. You can see right here. And that was just a fight at the bottom, and they stole it away.
Yeah, Carpenter was there, but the ball kind of hit around his legs and his midsection. So as he tried to reach down and corral it, it was already scooped up then by Dunson, and give the ball now to Worthington Christian with 8:10 left to go here in the third quarter, and up by 21. Breaks the freshman quarterback. Going to hand it off, and there's a big gap right up the gut across the 25 and all the way up to the 28-yard line. This is the guy that had some pressure on him coming into this game, Ethan Albert, because of the injuries we mentioned. The pecking order had changed. They lost two guys early on. Dalen Johnson went down in the scrimmages with an ACL as they were just getting ready to start the season. Then also we mentioned the loss, too, of Braden Anderson for this squad, who got injured last week. He was wearing the sling before this contest.
How about the closing speed there? Free safety Colton Yeager coming over to make the tackle.
And nothing there as they get it to the 25-yard line, and that's about it. Good hit on the play on that Columbus Wild Dogs first down. And just a reminder, too, that for more ticket information and sponsorship information, go to ColumbusWildDogs.com to check it out as indoor football and the IFL come to Columbus in 2022. 7:22 left to go. This is a big play, especially defensively now for Fisher Catholic. They're trying to make a statement here and get the ball back. They'd like to set up a third down and long scenario for this young man, Mr. Rakes.
Going to try and isolate the ball and get it to Jaden Reynolds here if they can.
Yep, we had a little motion. Just a little lean by Jaden that time.
Yep, and that's exactly what they were going to do. The little bubble screen out to the flat, and Jaden got a little too excited waiting for that play to go. And again, it's difficult for those receivers. They get those big eyes out there. They know the ball's coming their way, and they want it now. And you got to be patient out there and don't put your football team in a negative position.
So a dead ball false start will move it back 5 more yards inside the 22 to near the 21-yard line. And again, 15% capacity, Jeff, is what is allowed at most places when it comes to high school football. X's on the stands as to where you can sit. And good crowd here by both of these squads considering what you could have. And a timeout going to be taken now. With 6:55 left to go, Irish will burn it. We'll step aside as well, too. 24-3 early in the second half here on the CW Columbus. 24-3 the tally here in week number 3. And don't forget, tomorrow night, get a double dose of Honda's Thursday Night Lights with a special Friday night edition when Gahanna Lincoln will play host to New Albany. It all starts at 7 p.m. right here on the CW Columbus, your ticket to high school sports. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
2-0 against 1-1.
2 good programs in the OCC.
Timeout taken by the Irish. Any idea why, Jeff?
You know, I just think they had the wrong personnel out there for the spread, and I think that what they wanted to do is they recognized on the play before where the penalty occurred that they were trying to get that ball to Jaden Reynolds. And remember last time Jaden Reynolds went 76 yards for the touchdown. They did not rotate the corner up there to be able to play the defense on the plateau.
Different look now for the Warriors with 3 wideouts on a 2nd down and 18, and Riggs straight back to throw. Has got time. Guns hit across the middle, tipped up and incomplete. I think Carpenter thought he had it, and maybe he should have.
Well, he'll wish he had that one over again. It looked like it was intended for Jack Carpenter coming from that cornerback spot. They were trying to throw the ball right down the middle. And again, the quarterback not looking off. If you read his eyes, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. And it looked like, if anything, Jack Tenza got his hands up there. Don't know if it was tipped, but he at least got up there and maybe blocked the view of Jack Carpenter coming across and unable to make the interception.
I think you're right. I think he screened him. I don't think he could see the level of the football. As Carpenter nearly comes up with a big play now for the Warriors with a 3rd down and 18, just about halfway through the 3rd. Toby Riggs looking along downfield. Nice spiral, and he's got his man. What a throw, what a catch, and a nice game. They get the first down, as making the catch is the guy that got the first touchdown in this game, Corell Amsbaugh. And boy, that was a nice arm. I was told he's got a medium-range arm. That looked pretty strong to me.
It sure did. And very impressive there. He's able to look away. Did a good job that time of looking off the receiver. That freezes the free safety. You can see his head turn there. He saw the opening, and a great job of putting the ball up and letting your receiver go up and get the football. Good effort by everybody from an offensive standpoint.
Gain of 37, and the lead dumping the flat a little too strong that time for Caden Lassiter, so it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Caden just 1 catch coming into the football game. Mentioned that he was the backup quarterback for this football team. How about the fact that last year, Randy, you talked about Worthington Christian going to the playoffs. They had a quarterback by the name of Lucas Hardings.
Heard that name.
Yeah, kind of related to the head football coach. Last year, as the starting quarterback in his senior year, 2,400 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions as he ran for over 340 yards.
Well, tomorrow night we'll see a New Albany team that has a Kidwell in the backfield and also as a head coach as well, too. And last year there was a different Kidwell there as well, too. Family affair in high school football. In stride, getting the handoff, trying to turn the corner is Jaden Reynolds. He's got nothing there. Flowing to the football nicely that time to make the hit was Kavanaugh Frank.
Looked like Worthington Christian may have gotten away with some movement there. I saw 2 guys moving at the same time, and officials letting it go. And let's watch again here. This is just the jet sweep. Got blockers out in front, but look at the pursuit. Really impressive activity in it. Kavanaugh Frank, who plays center on the offensive side, inside linebacker on defense, flowing to the ball. Number one tackler on this football team.
Yeah, in week 1 against Bern Union, he had 5 solos, 4 assists, a tackle for a loss, and a sack. So third down at about 11 here. Looking long downfield for Reynolds. Runs under the football. That was a thing of beauty, and they take it in for the touchdown. Nice throw in stride. Hits him, and there's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, text or call 614-761-ROOF, and they hit the roof with that one. Add 6 more to the board now. It is 30-3 in this one.
Watch again here. I want you to watch the quarterback here. Looking off. Right there. Stop. He's looking all the way to the left-hand side. This is what we're talking about. Go ahead and run it. Now he comes back. This was intended to go down the right side the entire time, but that time the young freshman quarterback looking off the receiver got those safeties to jump and follow his eyes and came back. That is an exceptional job by Hobie Rakes.
43 yards on that touchdown pass. The kick is up by Woodfin. It is good. Add one more to the tally now. It is 31-3, and I'll say it now. Rakes is raking, and he is no longer a freshman. Look at the touch on this pass, and Reynolds says, thank you very much. There's my present. I'll take it to pay dirt. Folks, coming up at the start of the fourth quarter, we'll join Mike Todd on the Custom Air Heating and Cooling Sideline for a conversation with Worthington Christian principal Troy McIntosh. It should be enlightening. They've done a lot of things here at Worthington Christian, so we'll find out more about that when we start the fourth quarter of action. Time now to check out your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. 7 plays, 83 yards. The big play was the pass down the sidelines. Nicely done as Reynolds takes the last 43 from Rakes for the touchdown. Taking 2:38 off the clock, and we stand now at 31-3. So the Irish right now in danger if they can't score, and the Warriors score again. That will have a continuous clock for the remainder of the contest, as the margin right now is at 28, just 2 away from 30.
You know, Randy, on that drive, Worthington Christian really had some bad down and distance situations, and you got to give their football team a lot of credit for hanging in there in a very difficult situation. Now, Fisher Catholic got to make sure that they keep putting pressure on the outside.
Yeah, this time they just hand it off. Trying to go off tackle is Kenza. This time he goes all the way to the hash, just about and beyond. As there's nothing there, they just bounce it to the outside. And Jeff, we see different theories too when it comes to defense. Do you want to pinch it inside? Do you want to bounce it outside? I guess a lot of that depends on your personnel and the set that you're running too, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, Randy. And right now what they're trying to do is make sure that they don't give anything up the middle, and trying to force Fisher Catholic to kind of spread that offense out there. And quite frankly, that's the only place they've had success, other than Colton Yeager on the kind of the misdirection where he's been able to run the ball up the gut.
Love that front three of Hoheisel, Foreman, and Burford. On a second down, they'll give him 1 yard of forward progress. The left side of the offensive line left early, so we'll have a false start. Move it back. We'll have a 2nd and 14. Bruce Maurer comes our way with his signal, false start on the offense. So move it back 5. What has gone well when the Irish have been able to move the football?
Well, you know, Randy, I think it gets back to the fact that they're able to get the ball on the perimeter. This is not a football team that's going to pass you to death. Colton Yeager in the first 2 games only had 11 yards passing for the season, so they are trying to run the football like crazy. But what you got to do is you still got to spread that defense a little bit, and maybe a little bubble screen or some kind of a pass out in the flat to make that defense play honest would help you. Now again, we got 5 receivers in the set. See if they're going to throw.
2 stacked behind each other, and this time it's spreading out the defense, and Yeager opts to keep it on the boot, and there is very little there. Cuts it up to the 20-yard line, maybe the 21, and that's about it. So it's going to be a 3rd down and long that time.
Yeah, no intention of throwing the football on the play. Those 5 guys that were flanked out were nothing but window dressing for that defense to make them go ahead and cover those guys. But this is trying to get your quarterback, Colton Yeager, in space and trying to make something happen.
Good job by a good-sized freshman there, too, and Andrew Myhall making the hit on the play. 6 feet, 200, and he's going to be around for 3 more years after this season. You got to think he's still going to grow, Jeff.
It's amazing the number of young kids that are able to play at the Division 6 level, Randy, because of the lack of numbers, but getting great opportunities to play varsity football.
They're coming up the middle that time, so Yeager will boot it, and Colton with a nice gain across the 30 up to the 40-yard line, and he's got the 1st down. Nice run that time as they guessed up the middle. And instead, he takes it to the outside. We'll pick up enough yardage for another Columbus Wild Dogs first down. For ticket and sponsorship information, go to columbuswilddogs.com.
I'm far from being the smartest guy in the room, but I have recognized that there is more success running that football around the end than it is running up inside. Gain of 25 on the play.
And first down there for the Irish, so they spread it out a little bit, take it to the outside, and get the first down. And they've only scored, a touchdown and a field goal so far in the season in their first 2.5 games. Too wide to the bottom this time. And nothing there up to the 43-yard line.
Ball was dropped right at the point of mesh between the quarterback and the running back, and
Tenza stays with it.
Yeah, Tenza able to recover his own miscue. Watch again the mesh between the quarterback and the running back. Never really got the ball in there, and it didn't look to me as though Tenza was expecting to get the football in the first place. He had the pocket open there, but he never closed on the ball, and I think he expected the quarterback to pull the ball and take it on his own.
Chase Foreman nearly came up with a recovery on the play, so it sets up a situation now where the ball resting at the 43-yard line. They'll have a second down, and we'll call it just about 8 with 2.5 left to go in this third quarter. 31-3 the tally in this one. Go with one wide to the bottom, a man in the slot. We had motion up front. Let's see if we had an encroachment or a false start. This will be an encroachment this time against the defense.
Lining up in the neutral zone automatically. A call. Here's Bruce Maurer.
Again, if you're new to high school football, it's not like other levels where you can get back on side. Once you violate that neutral zone, it's like when Jeff goes bowling and the buzzer goes off, he's gone too far. You can't take it back. The buzzer's gone off, and the 5-yard penalty is assessed.
You know how slippery that lane is if you go past that buzzer?
Dog ate your homework, too, I know.
I'm telling you, you go right down. That's what we call bowler down.
Are you a scratch bowler, too?
No, not even close.
Toss this time to Tenza, and great penetration that time. I'll tell you what, there were 3 guys that came through, but a guy that helped make that play, won't get credit for the tackle, was Josh Carroll, number 50. He came shooting through to blow that up early and allow his teammates to go ahead and clean up the action.
Boy, we knew Jack Tenza would never leave the field, but boy, has this guy been important on both sides of the ball for the Irish tonight, and what a solid football player he is, out there taking a beating and giving it back on the defensive side. Not real flashy, but he just gets the job done.
Carroll, a guy that likes track and field and Xbox and health. His brother plays soccer and basketball for Worthington Christian. We'll keep it on the ground this time, and they needed to get to the 49-yard line, and it looks like they've got enough for the first down. Closer to the 48. So, again, at times, they've shown the ability to drive the football, Jeff, but the key for the Irish has been to mix up the play calling, not so much with the pass, but to work the ball inside and outside, and especially to the outside. I like Jeb Burford. He's sitting in a nice white chair here on the sideline.
He's got like a chaise lounge over there.
He looks like he needs a beverage and just to relax here.
He's the big guy.
Catch some moon rays.
Let him sit where he wants.
Out of 1st and 10 now from inside the 48-yard line. Yeager to keep it. He got drilled back at the 49-yard line. Hitting him on the play was Tyler White. Was that by design, a keeper, or did they miss the handoff?
No, it's hard to tell. We'll take a look at it on the replay and see if we can see. Right there. No, this is a keeper by sure. Then maybe they're going to option off of it,
right.
Possibly. Trying to get the ball maybe on the fly to Alex Smith, but the pressure coming up the middle, too much.
A loss on the play of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 13 from back at midfield. Great job by our officiating crew tonight, headed up by referee Bruce Maurer. I've known him for, 30 years? How about you?
Oh, yeah. I took a class in college that he taught on football officiating.
Did you pass?
I did.
Pressure on. Albert got in there first, and Yeager was forced to kind of go a little impromptu with his running prowess there, and he got it back to near the line of scrimmage, and that will be the last play of the third quarter. After 3, it's 31-3. Worthington Christian on top. The Warriors rolling to go 3-0, they hope, on the season. They played tough defense and strong on offense as well, too. Fourth quarter just around the corner here on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place on the CW Columbus.
Well, guys, we are joined by the head of school here at Worthington Christian. This is Troy McIntosh. Troy, thank you for being such gracious hosts. We love this field. It's absolutely spectacular. Talk to us a little bit about this first week or so of school. How have things been at Worthington Christian?
Well, it's been interesting. Obviously, it's different than a normal start of school. But the biggest thing is we're just glad to be on campus with our students. It's been a long time since we've been able to have students walking through our hallways, and that's a big part of what we do at WC is that one-on-one, person-to-person contact. So it's been great. It's been rejuvenating, refreshing. The kids are excited. We're just glad to be back on campus.
So speaking of excited, what are some of the things that you're excited about this upcoming school year at Worthington Christian?
Well, mainly that we get to serve our students with some new facilities that we've been working on for several years. Right behind me is our new Tom Angel Upper School campus that's serving students 7th through 12th grade. That's been over a year-long construction project, and it's got 4 new science labs, 3 new art studios, a media center, some common spaces, about 10 new classrooms. We just love the fact that we have this new space to be able to serve our students in. I'm standing on a new turf field that was just installed last month. This is the first in some stadium renovation projects we're doing. We completed about $750,000 renovation on our lower school project. So we've had a lot going on this summer in addition to all the things related to COVID. But to finally have students come in and be able to teach them in a classroom and work with them on a daily basis in these new facilities has been a huge blessing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Once again, we couldn't be happier to be here at Worthington Christian High School. Guys.
Thank you very much. Alex Smith was stopped short on 3rd down, and then Yeager with an interesting punt was able to get it off for some 43 yards. And we got a personal foul on the play. Backside block is going to be called, and that's not going to yield a lot of yardage with the ball already inside the 5-yard line. So
half the distance of nothing is about nothing. So,
but Yeager very creative with that punt, Jeff, to just get it off in time, and really one of the best plays of the night for the Irish as he's trapped the Warriors deep in their own territory early here in the 4th quarter. Andy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, and Mike Todd. Glad to have you aboard. Hobie Rakes, the freshman quarterback. Look at his numbers. 11 of 16. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns, 261 yards. So he's right about 600 yards in passing already on the season with about 10 touchdown passes.
Yeah, very impressive for that young man.
Got no interceptions.
Great upside for him. 5'9", 153 pounds. You expect him to continue to grow, too.
The ball inside the 2-yard line. They're coming, but they get him out of the end zone, but not by much. Did a great job to push him back into the end zone on the play by big number 77, Waylon Yeager. But the forward progress was outside of the end zone, so Albert and company will maintain possession of the football on the 2nd down.
Can't blame the defense for trying to convince the officials that there was a safety, but clearly his forward possession got him up to about the 3-yard line.
And hats off to the defense. You can easily fold a little bit here, but again, it gives them the enthusiasm, the spirit to keep going as lucky number 7-7 makes a nice play to stop Albert after a short gain of 2 on the play, moving out to near the 3-yard line. 2nd down and 8 from there. And again, they'll keep it on the ground, and they won't get back to the 3. That time, big number 47, Chase Springer, saying, I'm going to take you through the back of the end zone.
That's where you wonder if they'll have enough confidence in their freshman quarterback to throw the football with the ball inside the 5-yard line here. 2 pretty benign running plays at the beginning here. Not much there, and you can see a lot of Irish there to make the play, and really good effort.
But Jeff, this is something that the Warriors are going to have to work on for the postseason after week 6 to make sure they can get that running game down, especially when you're deep in your own territory. You've got to maneuver and make some room, so it's got to be up to the big guys up front, and Hoheisel and Foreman and Burford and Carroll and Kessler to open up those holes.
Well, Hobie Rakes had to run all the way to the sideline to be able to get that call. Watch and see if they run into trouble on getting the play off on time.
Back judge has not lifted up the hand. Now he has 4, 3, 2. They snap it in time, and he will throw from the end zone. And the pass is incomplete. Looking on the play for Reynolds on that slant. That could have gone 97 yards. And instead they'll punt from the back of their own end zone.
Well, Jaden Reynolds after the play pretty demonstratively signaling to somebody that, you know, you can see here he's pointing in the direction maybe another receiver in the wrong area. But you got to concentrate on catching that football.
Defense did a good job, too, of getting up their paws, too, to help reroute that football. So now it'll be a punting situation for Adam Dunson, one of his few punts on the night. In fact, his first. High snap. Garners that and kicks it. It goes up, but at least he was able to get it off and bounces across the 30, and he will get the benefit of a nice roll across the 40 up to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, they're picking up the ball as if it was touched. The officials say no, it was not, and Worthington Christian is going to go on defense at that point, and great field position for Fisher Catholic.
And we'll take a break. 9:41 left to go in regulation. 31-3, Worthington Christian on top on the CW Columbus. There's the magical orb that will go to the winning team, and perhaps the player of the game will be on that team that wins, because coming up at the end of the game, Jeff and I will be selecting the Rally's player of the game. I think there are a couple of candidates, and we'll see what happens. On the first down play, it is Tenza, and Jack will maneuver inside the 39 to the 38-yard line. I'm sure you have a favorite that you're thinking about already, are you not, sir?
Absolutely. I mean, there's some good statistics out there. Some guys that have played great. I mean, you obviously like the wide receiver position and what Jaden Reynolds has done, but how about Hobie Rakes at the quarterback position? 4 touchdown passes tonight in this game. Some pretty good efforts, and Colton Yeager and Jack Tenza have been solid for Fisher Catholic.
Second down play after a gain of 3 in that first go-round. And we nearly had motion up front. Tenza's got it off the left side. And again, Jets are going between the tackles. He's got it down to the 34-yard line. You talked about youth, and I always go back to what Torrey Kershaw and Ernest Stromer said for the West High School basketball team in the City League Championship game. A bunch of sophomores out there. Dave Sheets was their head coach at halftime. They were down, came back and played strong in the second half. And I said, what did Coach tell you guys at halftime? And Torrey looked at me and said, Coach said, don't play like a sophomore. Coach said, play older. And that's what Hobie Rakes has done. And there's a lot of underclassmen. I mean, Zartman is just a freshman out there as well, too, for Worthington Christian. A lot of young guys on both sides. Division 6 and 7 football, you do what you can. Yeager on the blind boot will take it inside the 30 to the 20, the 15, and backs his way all the way down to the 13-yard line. So Colton's got a nice run and a first down, and getting the congratulations of his teammates as he enters his Irish inside the Scott Schiff and Associates red zone.
Again, this is a quarterback run the entire way. He's making good fakes there, but this is where they have had success tonight. We saw it in the very first play of the game where they came out and they had room on the perimeter, and they've continued to exploit those corners who were falling back and not able to come up and make run support. Look at the numbers tonight. Colton Yeager, I mentioned having a big night against this defense. That is a very impressive night for the quarterback. 101 yards rushing.
He had 48 yards rushing coming into this contest, just 11 yards passing on a first down and 10 now from near the 12-yard line. Off the left side, Tenza pushes and gets inside the 3, near the 2, before he's knocked down on the play by Connor Lassiter and company. And again, let's see if it's close enough to get a first and goal.
Very impressive the way that Fisher Catholic is coming out here. That offense is not quitting. It's been very difficult tonight. But on the strength of that long drive that they had early in this football game where they possessed the ball for 10 minutes on one drive. Yes, they only got 3 points, but Randy, they proved to themselves they could run this football against Worthington Christian. They continue to do so.
It is a Wild Dogs first down, first and goal. The beanbag marks it at the 2-yard line. Yeager calls his own number, and he will get his team's second touchdown of the season and make the cushion now only 22 on that Ramos Roofing touchdown. It is 31-9 pending the extra point.
Not a lot of celebration out there, but I'm sure that this really feels good for this football team to be able to succeed on this drive. And it really started, Randy, with the good job of the punt, getting the ball down inside the 5-yard line, and then playing that defense, getting 3 and out, and getting the ball in good field position.
Good things happen for your team when you play on a short field, and that's what they've done here. Extra point time, the snap, and the kick is up by Leo, and it is good. And it's now 31-10. And we'll step aside one more time with 7:09 left to go. The Irish eyes are smiling a little bit now, looking to make this a contest here on the CW Columbus. ABC 6 News is on your side tonight at 11, investigating the burning of toxic forever chemicals, putting the health of your family possibly at risk. Join Bob Kendrick and Stacia Notkin for this special report. Now, that's tonight on ABC 6 News at 11. So check that out tonight, ABC 6 News at 11. Here's your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary. On the short field, they take up the 41 yards, and 2.5 minutes later, they get The score, and coming back the other way on the onside kick attempt down the sidelines. They'll take it in for the touchdown. Boy, that is a dream come true for a big guy up front. I think that's Jax Hollister.
Jax Hollister listed as just a freshman football player playing special teams, heads up, and I love the look on the football player, and I'd love to see the look on his face when this ball came right up into him. And I think his first inclination was, I'm just going to sit down here, and then he saw all of the open area, and he takes it to the house. Very impressive job by the young freshman.
Yeah, taken in by Jax Hollister as he takes it some 50 yards for the touchdown. Just a freshman, but what a frame at 6'1" and 191. And add 6 more to the board. It is now 37-10. Let me stay in, Coach. I just scored a touchdown.
Look at this. Man,
when was the last time you and I saw a touchdown on an onside kick attempt?
That is pretty impressive there. Good special teams work, good heads up.
Wow. I can't remember ever seeing that happen in one of our games.
That's pretty good.
In 38 years, that's special.
Scoop it and score it. That is pretty special. And
now, because he came out, they need to replace somebody in the line.
One man shy.
Luke Zodi will check in to make it a 28-point cushion. Woodfin with the honors, the snap, the kick, it is up, and it's good. So back up to that 28-point lead now at 38-10, and there's number 58 who says, next week I want my number to be 7. Watch the blazing speed. Actually, he's breaking away pretty well here.
Well, clearly onside kick attempt, and watch your kicker. Uh-oh, I better take off. And it is over before you think about it. That is impressive, and just a freshman football player. Watch it from the end zone. Now, he hesitated here thinking, yeah, what am I supposed to do? This doesn't happen in practice this way. And he's able to take it all the way. That was very good. Watch from the other end zone.
But he scores again.
My goodness.
Handles the ball well in the outside arm, Jeff, and takes it the distance
look
down
at the celebration on the sidelines, too. I love it.
And the breakaway speed. He's moving next week to the offensive backfield. I see it already.
There you go. That is pretty cool. You know, Randy, you've been talking to me from time to time about college football and the fact that the Big Ten is not playing. And, you know, this weekend is kind of monumental, in my opinion, because some of the big programs will start playing. And this quote just came across from 24/7 Sports, attributed to Ryan Day. And I quote, "These young men and their parents have asked so many questions that I do not have the answer to. The one that hurts the most, why can these other teams and players play and we can't? Duke is playing Notre Dame. Clemson is playing Wake Forest this weekend. Our players want to know, why can't they play?" I don't have the answer.
No, I don't think a lot of people do.
And Ryan Day, as well hooked in as he would be, certainly doesn't have the answers for his young men. I give a lot of credit to the OHSAA and what they've done with high school football in Central Ohio, what these two programs have done, what all the schools are doing to be able to do it safely and allow these kids to be able to play this great game.
Angular kick, and it's Avery Hickman on the return for the Irish, getting the ball up to around the 44-yard line. That's where Fisher Catholic will take it back now, down 28, 6:56 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Well, we did see something tonight we've never seen before. Onside kick taken back for a touchdown. You never know when history will be taking place. And Yeager with the drop gets it back, and he's got nothing to do but keep it himself, and he's brought down. So he got up to around the 46-yard line as the hit is made on the play. Luke Zodi is in there.
A couple of guys are going to field this game tomorrow, Jack Tenza and Colton Yeager, in the entire offense. And again, I want to give credit to that offensive line for Fisher Catholic because, you know, they may be a little bit undersized up there, but they're doing a really good job of giving the offense an opportunity to come up with some positive plays.
And, Jeff, this is normally the time where you might try to empty the bench, but you can't empty very far on either side right now, can you?
You got to look at the
sidelines. You move people
lines
around. It's like musical chairs, maybe. There's Coach Hardings. What a masterful job he has done. Seriously, the 4 years with this program, and a great guy, and a father of 8. 3 of them are adopted. He said, you know, they heard a message from God, and they felt it was their goal to help other people and to help some of the children that need it, and that's what he and his wife have done. And hats off to him for the decisions they've made. And I'll tell you what, they'll have a great father who last year was the Division 6 District Coach of the Year as well, too, and their first playoff berth in school history last year.
I'm impressed with the way he's kept his body in shape because this is a man, I will tell you, that when he was playing in the NFL and playing at Penn State, was not a 215-pound guy like he looks like he is today. He was a huge man, and he's got himself in great shape.
Smith on the carry that time, and they had the ball up to the 49-yard line for the Irish. Now it'll be third down from there, third, and they need just about 5 to move the sticks as we're just over 5 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Nearly as felt as our own Mike Todd.
Well, yeah, but that's hard to accomplish, too. And the flag on the play. We'll see if we have a false start on the offense or what the case is here if somebody lined up in the neutral zone. False start, offense. There you go. So move it back 5. So what was 4 is now 9. Mike Todd is looking pretty good right now, you know?
Looks great. I had a good conversation with Mike Todd on his strategy. Very impressed with what Mike has done in his preparation and you know, the job that Mike does for us on the sidelines and working with the school officials and the bands and all the extracurriculars and everything to really balance out that this is more than just athletics. It's about all these kids out here being able to have a great experience. So, Mike Todd, thank you so much for what you do.
And thank you to the image video crew, too. And let's recognize, too, Eric Stewart, who works down along the sidelines, our red hat, each and every week dealing with a different officiating crew and always making it look so easy. And Dean Marini, our producer, the man pushing all the buttons and spinning all the dials, if we still had dials out in the truck. Thank you, guys and gals, for the great work you do every single week. We appreciate that. The doubleheader week this time. Yeager on the carry that time with under 5 left to go. Takes it around the left-hand side, and he will move the sticks. Another Wild Dogs first down. Jeff, have you been working out to keep your slim, trim figure as well, too?
You know, I do a pretty decent job. I walk the golf course a lot of times when I play, but I also like to spend 3 or 4 days a week on the treadmill doing a fast walk, low impact, and just trying to pay attention. But the one problem that I've got, and I got to be honest with you, I'm coming clean. I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's that ice cream at night.
Yeah.
You know, it's an addiction, but it's going to live with me forever.
Well, for me, it's chocolate. And what I try to do, motivated by Mike, I've lost about 15 pounds. I walk 5 to 7 miles a day, and I bike 30 to 70 miles a week. So a week from this week, I am going to attempt to ride my bike 100 miles.
Attaboy.
To see if I can do that.
Well, you can succeed if you get lost. That will be.
Thank you.
That will be the key.
Thanks, Coach. It means a lot coming from you. Another first down, this time from the 45-yard line for the Irish. And Yeager fumbles the snap and still able to hand it off. Boy, you talk about sometimes not having a mesh point. There was none there that time, but still was able to pick up the ball and put it in the breadbasket of Tenza and still get some positive yardage on the play. So just a reminder, Jeff, this is a doubleheader weekend in case you forgot. You get a double dose of Honda's Thursday Night Lights with a special Friday night edition when Gahanna Lincoln plays host to New Albany. It all starts at 7 o'clock on Friday night right here on the CW Columbus, your ticket to high school sports. And then next week after that, we'll have a single game on a Friday. And then the weeks 5 and 6, the remainder of the regular season, doubleheaders both weeks. Right here, capping off with week 6, which should be a great doubleheader. Pickerington Central, Reynoldsburg on Thursday, then Friday night, DeSales at Hartley. Top that, anybody. Second down and 7 with 3:14 left to go. Yeager wants to throw.
Got his
and
man.
Goes long and has his man. It is in for the touchdown. Counted on the play. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and Tenza makes the catch. And that was a nice adjustment by him, looking over the shoulder to make the catch and add 6 to the board. So now it is 38-16 in this one.
Tell you what, they don't throw it much, but when they do, they're pretty efficient at it. And Colton Yeager showing off that arm. And how about the pattern and a big guy, big running back, linebacker, acting like a receiver out there, stretches out. I don't think Worthington Christian, respecting the speed of Jack Tenza, thought he could get behind them. But a good job by the quarterback hitting his receiver in stride and making the play.
And I don't think if he's 5'10", he catches that ball with the arm length. But that time, being a 6-footer, he's able to snare that and corral it, take it in for the touchdown. Extra point time is up, and it's good with 3:05 left to go. And it's now 38-17. This contest is VO with the honors there. JJ coming through, and it's a 3-score lead. Look at number 4. I didn't realize how small Avery Hickman is. We touched on this before the game. He went out and got the flags. He's 5 feet and 158 pounds. And he plays linebacker sometimes,
How good is
too.
that?
That is great. It's an opportunity, a program like this, for everybody to contribute. Hey, folks, don't miss the biggest plays from the biggest high school games in Central Ohio. Join Fox 28's Clay Hall for First Scores on Fox 28 tomorrow night at 10:45, sponsored by Spectrum. And I believe His Majesty Mr. Hall will come out before the contest tomorrow night at Gahanna Lincoln High School. And I'll talk to him live on the news on Channel 6.
We got to get him a fresh football, though, for that picture. I mean, he's so well-dressed. He's so professional-looking, and he's got that scuffed-up football. Let's get him a fresh one. Yeah. Maybe we can let him hold the orb.
No, he can look at it. He can't touch it.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Only Mike Todd is qualified, and Canadian Mounties to handle that. Here's your Hilliard Lawn and Garden scoring summary, by the way. 5 plays, 57 yards, just less than 4 minutes. Tenza now has got a nice night going. 21 carries, 61 yards on the ground, 2 catches for 47 yards, and a touchdown. So he's over the century mark in total offense. And I think it's a learning experience, and I think they've grown tonight, have the Irish in this contest. And for Worthington Christian, they're going to be happy with a 3-0 mark, as that time it is scooped up by Reynolds at the 2. Jaden looking for a cut, and he got it up to the 22 after a little cut left and then right. So, yeah, they have now scored 17 points in this contest. And, you know, Jeff, coming into this contest, they had that lone touchdown. So the offense coming alive for Fisher Catholic, and for Worthington Christian, so many good things. And you look at their roster, too, and you go, my goodness, sophomore, freshman. And Reynolds, look at what he's done, the junior. They said they will go to him even on 50-50 balls, and we've seen his athletic prowess. A guy that's a really good student as well, too, and has made some good plays, and he's scored a couple times in this game, and now his team will get it back. And like I said, I don't know how much you can shuffle late in the game when you have so few players, but let's see if they put some new faces in there, and maybe Lassiter will get the nod at quarterback. And indeed, that is the case. So Caden Lassiter will run the offense with his team up by 21. And they'll hand it off, and not a whole lot there.
You know, Lassiter, not necessarily the experienced guy out there, just a sophomore himself. A lot of youth on this football team, and I think Coach Jeff Hardings has got a great future with his team.
Handed off to Dax Zartman, who, by the way, is a freshman. And so he'll lose a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. There's number 1. Did you ever want to be number 1, Jeff?
You know, I didn't. I always thought that if you wore that number, man, you better never make a mistake. I mean, you ought to be just one of those numbers that says if you're tough enough to wear it, you better be perfect on every play.
There's kind of an inherent ego that goes with that number, isn't there?
I think so.
Yeah, Lassiter's got it this time, and he lives up to it. Good game that time as he will take it up to the 25-yard line. And by the way, Caden on the season, 4 of 6 passing for 37 yards and a touchdown. 5 carries coming into this game for 34 yards. I want to use all his information. And when you look at him and Rakes, it was kind of a combination of those two fighting it out at the beginning of the season as to who the starting quarterback would be.
Yeah. Worthington Christian, after this game, they have Dayton Christian, Fairfield Christian, and then Bern Union as a part of their regular schedule, all part of the Mid-State League.
Sugar Grove team down at Bern Union, much improved. I hear whistles.
That may be coming from outside the stadium, but they're letting the clock run down. Good job.
Oh, it's a car alarm going off. Hopefully it's yours, Jeff. I mean, hopefully it's not. And they've got the ball across the 30-yard line up to around the 31. You gonna check your keys real fast there? I'm going to grab for my keys to make
Fisher
sure.
Catholic has got Fairfield Christian coming up after this. Then they play Bishop Rosecrans, and then they get Miller, who Worthington Christian played a week ago. 31-0 win in that game.
And I believe Miller's a school, too, that would like to get entry to the Mid-State League. I think they've played a couple teams now, obviously, with these two teams. And
Southeast Ohio?
Mm-hmm.
Miller?
About an hour and 25 minutes south of here. So 4th down play. And they look like they're going to go for it on a 4th down at less than 2 with 40 seconds left to go in regulation. And Lassiter got the 1st down and across the 40. Cuts it back to midfield to the 45. Still on his feet at the 40. To the 35, and he needed a breakaway jersey there. Couldn't get that tear away, but has a huge gain, and that will pretty much drain the remainder of the clock now with 21.6 left to go, and a nice run by Caden Lassiter.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see Worthington Christian run another play, but Lassiter doing a really nice job in there, getting the 1st down, showing the depth that they have at the quarterback position, and maybe an audition for get me the ball more on offense.
Yeah, it looks like he could be a running back as well, too, with those moves. Already a starting wide receiver, backup quarterback. That's the thrill of D6 football. Coach Harding's looking at the clock and pointing up and saying, guys, great job. And A point over to Coach Timmis on the other side as well, too. So Worthington Christian still perfect after 3 games, getting the victory. 38-17, the final tally in this one. And Jeff, a nice performance by the Warriors, the Irish, with something to build on. We'll be back with our post-game show in just a minute. I'll remind you, this is Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Founders Field. Worthington Christian now 3-0 on the season as they get by Fisher Catholic 38-17. Let's head down to the sidelines. A happy group of Warriors standing by with Mike Todd.
Well, Randy, the Warriors did come out to play tonight with a dominating victory. Jeff, what did your team show you tonight?
Just all week long we talked about raising our standard of excellence, and we practiced. We pushed them to do that all week long. They came out and did it. I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of the coaches. We worked very hard. Like I said at halftime, relentless effort takes care of a lot, and they definitely had relentless effort out here.
Well, Coach, it is our pleasure to present to you and the Worthington Christian Warriors the Honda Thursday Night Lights Championship Trophy.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Captains.
Well, he's won a Super Bowl, but right now, that's the most important trophy I think he's won.
Absolutely. Feels pretty good about that. And his team can celebrate a win, and Randy, they're certainly moving in the right direction.
And they did a fabulous job throughout this contest. Early statements on offense, Jeff, and then they shut him down on defense as well, too. And hats off to the Irish, too. They didn't back down. They were able to get 17 points, which, again, they'd only had 1 touchdown the first 2 games. So meant a lot to them to get on the board. But Worthington Christian has a lot of weapons. I want to clarify one thing, too, that Miller is now a member of the Mid-State League. So terrific. Congratulations to Miller. They are now in the Mid-State League, and they'll be a nice addition to the squads already in the conference. It is time now to meet and recognize the Rally's Player of the Game. Number of different ways we could go, but Jaden Reynolds early on helped to make a statement in this game, Jeff, so he gets the nod as the Rally's Player of the Game.
Well, he's an impact player, and this is a guy that we knew going into the game that they would like to get in space. This is an example of the kid's great speed and capability of being able to find that end zone, and really a good football player. And you got to give some credit also, I think, to the quarterback, Hobie Rakes, who got him the football on time, on target. This is a 76-yard touchdown run that he had on the pass and catch. And, Randy, you mentioned 50-50 balls. He owns them. It's about a 90-10 rule when he's involved with the football.
How about Jax Hollister with that touchdown on an onside kick, too?
Very impressive. A lot of guys that had big games tonight. And I'd also look at that offensive line and defensive line. Jeff Burford, I thought, at center, as well as on defense, played a big game. The big old space eater did a nice job.
Congratulations as we look at the final numbers from this contest now as well. And the Irish kind of evened it up a little bit in yardage, and what they have to hang their hat on is the fact that they rushed for 200 yards in this contest. Look at the passing yards, too. We mentioned how Worthington Christian had done on the season. They averaged 160 running and 180 passing, and this time they go pretty well in the passing game, 261 again, thanks to that combination of Rakes and also Reynolds. But let's not forget about Amspaw as well, too, because he had a couple good catches. So Corral was there as well to help out this squad as you look at those numbers. And no turnovers in the 48 minutes.
A lot of balls that were spit out on the ground, though, Randy, that they all recovered on their own. 6 penalties for each of the teams. Certainly a coachable moment for both. And I think from a standpoint of Worthington Christian, the one thing that they've got to do, Randy, they got to concentrate on defense. They got to do a better job protecting the perimeter on defense, because I thought Fisher Catholic exposed them in that regard.
Sir, are you willing to make that 11-mile drive over to Gahanna Lincoln High School?
Not right now. I'm going to go to Dublin first.
Okay.
But I'll see you there tomorrow night. I promise you.
36 holes.
I promise you.
Great game from 2 OCC combatants tomorrow night. New Albany comes in at 2-0, and the Lions of Gahanna Lincoln High School at 1-1. Well, I tell you what, it's been a great night. On behalf of the Image Video crew and CW Columbus staff, we say thank you for watching. Join us again tomorrow, 7 o'clock, for a special edition of Honda's Thursday Night Lights when New Albany takes on Gahanna Lincoln. Our final tally here, 38-17. Worthington Christian gets the victory. Stay tuned for America Says, followed by Last Man Standing. The Warriors lived up to their nickname. They're 3-0. Look out in weeks 4, 5, and 6 in the playoffs as well for this team, coached by Jeff Hardings. Talk to you again tomorrow night, right here in one place. Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus.